I'll call this Bang Bang. Seriously?
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. Pull up, bitch.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up.
Objection. Objection.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. KO. Bang bang.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. You're a bitch, bro.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. Right?
Yeah.
The bang bang, the bang bang, pull up. The bang bang, the bang bang, pull up.
Bang, bang.
Right?
Yeah.
The bang bang, the bang bang, pull up. The bang bang, the bang bang.
Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Bang, bang.
All right, Mr. Lally, your next witness, please.
Yes, Your Honor, the Commonwealth will call Trooper Michael Proctor to the stand. State your name and spell your last name for the jury.
Michael Proctor, 𝗵𝗃𝗍𝗄𝗏.
You're a bitch, bro.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up.
I'm going to allow it.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up.
I'm going to allow it.
Bang, bang.
My name is Aidan Kearney,
Also known as Turtleboy.
Is a senior editor for Turtleboy Daily News.
I'm a big fan. We've broken hundreds of stories that the mainstream media won't touch.
Some blogger in Massachusetts who's getting to the bottom of this better than anybody.
Why is it Turtleboy that is covering such important issues? Where is the rest of the media?
You need to not say that you were gonna take my baby out of revenge and make him a transgender baby.
Stop it.
Don't you want to ask some questions? I know you do.
I do. I
know
have
you
that.
People don't like the things that I say and want me to stop saying them, but I won't. I'm never going to stop. These are the kind of stories that must be told.
And I will not be intimidated. I will not be silenced. And we will continue on our journey for justice for John O'Keefe and for Karen Reed.
Tick, tick, boom. Noise. Go, baby, we bringing out toys. Boys, chop up the singing, should be on the voice. Bang, bang, we gon' ride out. Gang, gang, we don't die out. Want it like this, ain't no timeouts. Tell me who really gon' find out.
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets.
Karen Reed has supporters who've shown up in large numbers.
Tick, tick, boom.
Hard body, and not scaring nobody. You make me resort to wildin'. You must be blind by the diamonds. I didn't want it to be this way, but y'all won't need to try this. So it's no way around it. You the loudest one, it's going quiet. We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go ahead, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep.
This is the first time I think I've ever seen this. An outpouring of support for someone accused of murdering a Boston police officer. Unbelievable situation. Never seen anything like it.
Tick, tick, boom.
You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me?
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go ahead, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep. It's go, 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 go time.
Tick, tick, boom.
Can you guys hear that? This sucks though. It's the computer mic. So this mic is not apparently working. Well, you did. I know what I did on Saturday night fixed it. And so now there's static. Awesome. So everyone's messaging me. Let's see. But I don't like the audio because it's like the computer mic. It sucks. This one's so much better. I gotta get this one to work. It makes a world of a difference. Hold on. Hold on. I got a backup mic. Give me 1 second. Sorry about this. Hold on. Somewhere around here. All right. I just don't think I can't find I had a backup mic around here somewhere. Wait, what's in this bag? Hold on. All right, we're working this out. All right, 1 sec. Got a new one. Got a backup one. Hopefully this one works better. I hate the computer mic. I just can't stand it. And I don't know what's up with timeout. All right. We're going to get this. Right there. Right here. All right. Nice. Sweet. Put that thing over there. All right. Let's see how this works out. Hold on. So clearly the problem, I guess, is the mixer, right? Because I plugged in a whole new mic here, which is fine. And I can see like the audio levels do not rise. It stays on the bottom one. So I don't know. It definitely doesn't sound as good. It'll get us by. But it's definitely like that thing over here, this thing. Like I have two of these. I don't know what these things do. Like these, I don't know shit. I'm a content guy, you know? I just make the donuts. Like I have one of these things. I don't know what this thing does. Okay. There's a million buttons on it. Plug it in. It's lighting up. I got another one over there. It lights up. God knows if I know what the hell this thing does. But, you know, it is what it is. So we're just going to have to. Someday I'll have a real show. Okay. Anyway. Oh, great. Now this is stuck in my foot. Hold on. We're having a tough day here. Whew. Okay. Now I got the shadows in the back of me. That's going to annoy the fuck out of me. Hold on. No, now I don't need this thing. Get out of my face. You're broken. Okay. You know what? That's good enough, I think. I think that's good enough. Okay. We're good to go. All right, guys. Yeah. Boomer hotline here. But hey, we got 4,000 people. So that's nice. Anyway, guys, welcome to the live show, ladies and gentlemen. A live show that almost didn't happen. Oh, thank God. But anyway, if you're new here, my name's Aidan Kearney. I am the host of this here show. You can call me any one of my nicknames, Clarence with Emerson. That's my Facebook account name. You can follow me on there. You can call me what else? I like Uncle Turtleboy, old school turtle riders are known to do that. You can call me Dr. Turtleboy because I'm definitely a doctor. And if Jim Crosby is a doctor, then so am I. You can call me, and it's actually my preferred pronoun if you see me in public, but also acceptable is daddy. Preferably not if you're a guy, but that's okay. And definitely not mandatory for anyone. I don't care what you call me though. 𝗵𝗵𝗃 Kearney, journalism Jesus. Just be here every Tuesday and Saturday night at 9 p.m. sharp. And make sure you smash that subscribe button. I was like 10 away last I checked from 105,000 subscribers. Let's see where we're at now. We were at 990 before, and now we are at 105,006. So we've passed the 105,000 threshold subscriber mark. So there we go. So yeah, go ahead. And if you're new here, make sure you smash that subscribe button because there's probably at least like 50, 100 of you haven't done it. Go do that. All right, cool. Because we got a lot to get to today. And I realize I'm up against the Karen Reed documentary. And I watched it last night. And what are your thoughts on it? I don't think we can replay any of it because it's from like HBO. Definitely, they don't let you stream it on your computer. But, you know, I think it's going to be worse tonight because they're going to get into the Higgins texts. I know the Reed team isn't watching it. I just know they had a falling out with it. And as soon as I saw that leprechaun motherfucker on there last night and John Jackson, it's the same fucking three people. It's the leprechaun motherfucker. It's John Jackson. And then it's Lost at Sea, Tara Kerrigan. Okay. And yeah, Kof and Doofus obviously on there. Plevin will be on, you know, that's the best they could find. But like, it's just those three people that they always have. No Megabeth this time. I guess she's done. I didn't think last night's 2 episodes were bad. I thought, honestly, I'll be honest. I know it's not their fault. I know it's the way it was clipped and stuff like that. I thought the worst moments came from Nathan and Karen Reed. Like I thought that like there was a couple comments there where I'm like, oh, Spanky's going to use that one, even though it's bullshit. We all know it's bullshit. But you know, like there was a comment that Nate Reed made towards the end, just about like I got what he was saying when they were like, you know, it was like shortly after, you know, John was dead, and they were like, "Dad, what are we gonna do?" You know, what like. And she's like, let's just get into it. It just came across, you know, and didn't come across to me this way, but you know, it's going to come across to that they're going to use it as be like, see, she's like insensitive and she doesn't give a shit. Okay. Now, one thing I didn't give a shit about was the imitation of Peggy O'Keefe. That was fucking awesome. That was fantastic. I loved that. And I'm so glad that offends them. Peggy O'Keefe is the least sympathetic grieving mother of all time, and she sucks. I mean, there's no other way around it. And you saw it on full display. I mean, I've seen it a million times in person, but that perfectly explained why Karen Reed left that house. And remember, Karen Reed leaving that house at whatever time was it, noon, 1 p.m., whatever she left. Karen Reed leaving that house is the primary and only reason that Paul O'Keefe thinks that Karen Reed did this, because she left the house. That's what Carl Dougal has against her. That's what all of them have against her, is that she left that house. If I were her and I could go back and do it again, I would not leave the house. I don't care how uncomfortable it is, how awkward it is. I would stay there and be like, no, fuck it. Even though I totally get why she left. Plus, she's a chick. It's different with women. It is. They're more emotional. Okay. They're not. It's not like me. You know what I mean? I look for fights. I don't, you know, I'm very confrontational. I don't back down. You know, I could tell Karen had experienced something traumatic. She'd been sectioned, and she gets there, and that's what's said to her. Okay. And remember what Kerry Roberts testified that Peggy O'Keefe said. Kerry Roberts testified that Peggy O'Keefe said, why did you drop him off? Remember, she was like, it's like 7 o'clock. And you left him there? I mean, Kerry said that, who obviously hates Karen Reed. And she said that. So, and it's, by the way, Kerry's impression sounded just like Karen's. And just this idea, I get she's old. I get she's an elderly person. I get she's had 2 children die. And that's very sad. You know, the shit one's left over, obviously. The scummiest one of them all is left over. But I get all that, but at the same time, it's like she sucks, and there's just no other. Just because you had something tragic happen in your life doesn't mean you don't suck. And you know, Paul didn't sound as bad. I mean, I really thought like Paul's way too far gone now. But I thought there was a time when when I first spoke with him, when there was a possibility that he would see the light, when he said that he was like open to the FBI investigation and this and that. Me joining this, me taking this part in what I do, and me criticizing him and me criticizing his mother is what drove them further away from Karen Reed. No doubt in my mind. His mother was obviously hated Karen Reed probably before John died, right? But Paul, I don't think he didn't hate Karen Reed before she died. Right? He hates her now, obviously, and it's largely because of her association with me. Okay, so that's what, because I think they blame this whole thing on Karen. Like they blame Karen is some puppet master that controls me, and that is a complete lie. Obviously, Karen Reed does not control anything that I do at all, and vice versa. Right? We are 2 independent. We're working towards a mutual goal of justice for John O'Keefe, right? And justice for Karen Reed. But other than that, you know, she's got her interests, and which is, you know, like they somewhat clashed a little bit in court today. Did they not? I mean, you don't see, and I don't blame them for this, you don't see Karen Reed's team in court standing up for me, do you? You never see that. You don't see him taking shots at me, but you don't see him standing up for me. And I don't blame them. You don't see them opposing the buffer zone last year. You know, you don't see them. And I get it. I get it, because they don't want to be seen as encouraging this stuff, even though they're probably, you know, silently rooting for us all. Right. And that we're on the same team, but publicly in the court of law, they can't be, you know what I mean? And I don't take that personally. And I don't think anyone else should. Okay. And so Jackson used the word vile, like that. Those comments are vile, but he prefaced that, or what's it called? Not preface. What comes after? Suffixed, whatever. And we'll watch some of the tape with, if it's true, which like there's no evidence. And the semen thing on Jennifer McCabe's face is, Jennifer McCabe's face is completely made up. I think I showed you guys this meme of this. Let me see if I can get this for you. All right, let's see. This one, okay. I don't think you can zoom in on this. So when Jennifer McCabe says in court that people are, you know, sharing pictures of, or sending pictures of her kid with semen on her face. Remember she said that as like one of the things that people are doing, emails to the school, like all this. Like I've seen nothing of that. Elizabeth Proctor was on there last night talking about how she received this horrible voicemail. Play it. You played all Karen Reed's voicemails, right? They're not getting any. And this is what Jennifer McCabe is talking about. So when I went to the select board meeting on September 26, 2023, I knocked on the door and Chris Albert looked over at me like, oh, fuck. Okay. And I took a picture, or I think a video, whatever it is. This is a meme now. And so what memes do, and people who are unfamiliar with memes, is you can just kind of add something to an existing picture that looks funny to kind of transform it into something it's not. That's what a meme is. And so what one individual did, right, on their, on the Justice Facebook page, I don't know where this meme was posted, but they posted this one. I did not post this, okay? And it is a picture of Chris Albert, and people would fuck around with this computer screen and put funny shit on there. And so what they put on here is, that's Allie McCabe, who is an adult, and it's an OnlyFans account. Now, there's no actual pornography on here or anything like that. It's not real. She's not actually on OnlyFans, but this is what's called comedy, okay? And you see, because his face is funny. That's what makes it funny. He's been caught. It's like he's been caught red-handed doing something. And it's like, oh, it's funny. He's looking at Allie McCabe's OnlyFans. Allie McCabe is an adult. She doesn't actually have an OnlyFans. But wouldn't that be a funny scenario if it ended up being true? Like, wouldn't that be kind of funny? Like, that's what's called comedy. Okay. And I know that's hard for these people to understand, but this is the best that they could come up with for intimidation and harassment. And Jennifer McCabe said on the stand that they're posting pictures of my daughter with semen on her face. When she says that, this is what she's referring to. This is it. That's the picture of her daughter. She never mentions it's the adult daughter, right? This is the receipt that she's talking about. This is all they've got. No pictures of their children with semen on their face was ever sent to them. That's all these people do, is hide behind their children and act like their children have suffered. The only people whose children have suffered in all of this are John O'Keefe's, right? And mine, quite frankly, right? Because they lost their dad for 60 days, right? Jennifer McCabe hasn't lost her kids for 0 days at all. And it doesn't appear she's going to. Even though it's quite obvious that they participated in covering up a murder. But Elizabeth Proctor is not missing her kids at all. Her kids are fine. They'll always be fine. Like, because it looks like through a stroke of luck and corruption, they have thus far gotten away with what we can all plainly see has happened. And that's that. And they want to sit there and whine about their kids. How come like David Bienick's going to Elizabeth Proctor's house so she can cry about her kids? When's the last time you came to my house, David? When you want to talk to me about my kids and how they've suffered for this? You want to talk about that? You want to talk about the people who's actually suffered for this? Why don't you go and do an interview with Karen Reed? Why don't you do that? Talk about how she suffered, right? No, you don't do that. Instead, we're supposed to watch. That was disgusting. I mean, it was bad. It went horribly for them, but it's also disgusting. But that's what they mean with the semen face thing. But other than that, back to the documentary thing. Let's see. I kind of I didn't tweet that much during it. It was good. I mean, parts of it were good, I thought. I don't mind how I'm portrayed ever. Dateline 2020. I mean, it is kind of funny that like you cannot tell the story without me. And definitely the fact that I'm not participating in it has hurt their marketing ability, I think, with this. Because how do you tell the story without Turtleboy? And that's what our documentary with compelling pictures is going to be much better. I promise you, much better. We won't have the behind the scenes footage. Imagine if Karen and I had done a doc together, it would have been so much better. So much better. But, I think she wanted to make sure that she had, I mean, again, the incarceration hurt. She signed the deal with them when I was incarcerated. And because she wanted to make sure that someone was there covering the trial. And, I couldn't talk to her when I was in jail. So that's that. But, I definitely, I thought the storytelling so far was fair. I think it was fair so far. They obviously haven't gotten to a lot of the stuff yet. But I definitely think that I'm on the thumbnail for episode 2. Oh, great. Awesome. I think that it was fair. I think they gave me credit for this. I think it was accurate so far. I don't know if they're going to get into my charges or anything. I think they did a good job with the tail light thing. Let me pull this up. Do I have any other quotes from last night? This dude, bro, like serious, like she's like a cartoon villain. Look at her. Just look at that face. Imagine being on the same side as this ogre, this creature. Just look at her. She sounds retarded. She looks demented. She's supporting pure evil. Like, couldn't be happier that this witch, that's what she is. She's a witch, isn't on my side. Yeah, disgusting. And let's see. Yeah, this is what I mean. I mean, just look at this ratio here on the Elizabeth Proctor interview. Okay. 2,000 laughing. She's crying in the cover photo, and 2,000 laughing reactions to 100 likes. That is a ratio and a half, ladies and gentlemen. That is bad. Never seen anything like that. So, there's this woman. She is just the way she talks, like she's some sophisticated, person, New Englander whose ancestors came over on the Mayflower. And, she says Kant instead of can't, Kant. And it's, dude, she's like, I wear his number, but why? But that's fucking weird. Like is anyone going to tell her that's really weird? Is anyone in Tara Kerrigan's life going to step up and tell this chick that's weird? Like, you're weird. This is not normal. Okay. He dumped you 20 something years ago. Okay. You got married and had kids and got divorced since then, probably because you were thinking about John the entire time. I bet you that contributed to your divorce. Okay. And you have like an array of pictures from 25 years ago that you are just ready to share with everyone and hold up. That's weird. Yeah. This is his girlfriend from 25 years ago, Southern Mom. 25 years ago. Okay? That's when they broke up. She dated John before Karen and John the first time. Like, that's how old this was. Like, she's that old. Like, dude, I don't think I have a picture with a single girlfriend, and I've had a few girlfriends, okay? I don't think I have a picture with a single girlfriend before my ex-wife. I don't think I own one. I don't think I could dig up a picture of any ex-girlfriend of mine. I met my ex-wife when I was 27 years old, okay? So, you know, girlfriends before that, whatever. I don't own a picture of any of them. So, but this chick just has all these pictures ready to go. It's bizarre. And it's just, I hate how they take like ownership of John. Like, oh, we knew him. We knew John. So we're smarter than you. It's like, no, I don't need to know John to know that this is fucked up, that this isn't right, that this is not what it appears to be. And I hate to say it, but I'm the reason that a lot of these people would never open their eyes. I am. Like, I think if it was presented to them a little bit more delicately and by somebody who wasn't me, by somebody who isn't abrasive as me, that some of these people might, you know, see this differently. But then again, if you're the kind of person who decides a person's guilt or innocence, especially when your friend is the victim of this, and you decide their guilt or their innocence based on whether or not you like Turtleboy, then what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, seriously, what is wrong with you people? But I do feel that way. I do feel like some of these people just, they hate Karen. And a lot of them said it last night. Like, she goes, we all thought Karen was going to fall on the sword. What does that mean? Yeah, that's an interesting analogy. Fall on the sword. So just take one for the team. Take one for Jennifer McCabe. Just give up, you know, part of your life, however long you'll go to jail for, and just take one for the team and fall on the sword. Instead, you propose the idea that perhaps somebody else did this. Perhaps. Because we all agree that if Karen Read didn't kill John O'Keefe, then the people inside 34 Fairview Road did. And that's why Steve Scanlon went to that. I thought they told the story of Steve Scanlon real well last night. I thought they told the story of how that all came together, and they've kind of figured that out. How it went from manslaughter to murder, and the shock that Karen had when she was charged with murder, and that they showed up at her house. And it was just very interesting hearing that from her perspective. And we saw footage of, you know, not letting them put on their underpants. I've been there before. I've been arrested in my house. They just ask you for your medication, and then that's it. And so they did that to her. And she didn't see that one coming. You know, you have no idea that a grand jury's going on. They could have easily just told David, bring her on in, and he would have gladly surrendered her. But instead, they wanted this whole show because they're monsters. They're animals, you know? Like, who does that? Who does that? I mean, it's scary having the police show up at your house like that, a whole bunch of them. Like, her and I have had many conversations about this. Like, it's fucking scary to live like that. And it's PTSD, you know? And that comment that Proctor said on his way back there after he put her in the car, and he's like, talks to the Mansfield cop, and he's like, she's fucking crazy. You hear her? Yeah, she's fucking crazy, right? She's the crazy one here. She's fucking crazy, you hear? She cares how she looks on TV. No, she just has no underwear on, bro. And honestly, like, the first thing I say when I get arrested is like, can I close the garage? We can't leave the garage door open. Animals are going to get in there. You know, that's the first thing I said is, can we close the garage door, please? So people just say, until you've been in that situation in handcuffs, you don't know how you're going to handle it. And it's like, this guy's just like, she's fucking crazy. I mean, he's just such an asshole, such a pig, such a piece of shit. And how anyone could stand up for that guy. Obviously not many people do, including the state police. They obviously are not standing up. You got to be a real scumbag, you know, to stand up to somebody like that. And remember, the same thing happened to Karen Read last January when Tully And Fanning showed up at her house in January to take her goddamn phone after they've been tracking her for a month. You know? So yeah, let's see what else there was. Yeah, this comment from Brendan Kane also had John Jackson had the comment about how John had a bunch of girlfriends reach out to him, old girlfriends reach out to him during the pandemic. And because he's so fucking awesome. I mean, I'm a fan of John O'Keefe, but like they paint him as if like, oh, he's just, you know, any fucking chick would be lucky to take his dick. Oh yeah, he's so fucking perfect. All right. And that's, they've created a saint out of him. And I'm sure John O'Keefe is a great person. He's human. We're all human, right? And they've turned him into this mythical creature that, oh my God, if we just want justice for Johnny, like where were all these people for Johnny when he was alive and Karen Reed was playing babysitter? Where were they then? None of them were anywhere. None of them were around to help Johnny, but they're all around now that the cameras are rolling and they're looking for sympathy and fake crying on there. Right. I mean, it's just disgusting. It's disgusting. And, yeah, I mean, I'm just, I was disgusted by what I saw with these people and him saying that about the girlfriends, about, yeah, a lot of girlfriends, but Karen's the only one that, you know, he got back to or something like that. Who the fuck knows, you know? So there was that. And then there was this comment from Brendan Kane where he said that he doesn't understand why Karen Reed didn't call 911 at 5 a.m. Is that a real question? Like, these are the questions that they ask themselves. This is their evidence. This is what they've latched themselves onto to believe that they're guilty. I mean, the 𝗥𝗲𝗱𝗺 shit like this. And like, thank God that everyone surrounding John O'Keefe in his life was literally retarded, because why didn't she call 911, Brendan? Is that a real question? Why didn't she call 911? What the fuck was 911 going to say? Have you ever dealt with a 911 operator? Hello, 911, what's your emergency? Oh, I dropped my boyfriend off at a party 4 hours ago and he hasn't come home and he's not picking up his phone. Oh, I don't know how to tell you this, man, but he's getting a blowjob. I don't know how, like, I don't know how to tell you that to you, but your man's cheating on you. Like, you're grown. Oh, he's a cop too. Oh, okay. He's probably fine. He's probably fine. He's definitely getting a blowjob. Like, are you kidding me? What is the 911 operator going to say? If people are missing for like, I think you have to be missing a certain amount of days too, like days you have to be missing in order for them to treat you as like a missing person and send police after you, stuff like that. Bro's been missing for 4 hours. He just didn't come home. The fuck are they going to say? What is 911 going to say to that? They would literally just be like, dude, go back to bed. He'll be fine. Like, that's what they would fucking say. You do not call 911 when your boyfriend doesn't come home. Okay. Is it 48 hours, 78 hours, whatever it is, not 4 hours. Cause that's all it had been. I mean, what a stupid fucking comment that was, you know? Yeah. I could understand Casey Anthony waiting 30 days or something like that to report your missing kid. Something like that's suspicious. Right. But whatever. And this comment from Michael Lank, that I didn't realize that he said, but that not sure if he's been in a fight or whatever. That's the first thing that Lanker said when he saw the condition of John's body. They all thought that, you know, like, so that was the initial thing. Not, oh, this guy got hit by a car. I mean, why did Peggy O'Keefe thought he got hit by a car? She just didn't like Karen. And by then, she had spoken extensively with Jen McCabe, and Jen McCabe told her that Karen Reed said, I hit him. Or did I hit him? Whatever she said. Okay. So yeah, more stuff happened. I forget. Do you guys remember any other parts you want to touch on before we move on to the next thing that happened in the documentary? What did you guys think was interesting? Yeah. DV is what they initially thought. Yeah. The glass on John's nose. Yeah, that was interesting. I didn't know what to make of that. That was never heard that one before. I don't know why she would say that if it wasn't true. But that's a new one. How the fuck did glass get on his face? I mean, who knows, you know? Interview in the car ride was cool. Them watching Tom's CPU on their way into court, I thought was interesting. They're watching the protests on their way into court. That was cool. You know, seeing access to the, you know, the war room. And I think Liza Little spoke a lot more in this documentary than she ever does in court. And so you see that she's really very active in Karen Reed's defense. 𝗫𝗏 called. 𝗫𝗏 called? Oh, yeah. 𝗫𝗏 called 911. That's right. And like, what did 911 do? What did 𝗃𝗏𝗀𝗃 say? I don't even know. Did she say something bad? Yeah, her not calling 911 is weird, but the 12 people going directly by who didn't see the body, yeah, that's not weird at all. Glass on the nose. A lot of people are talking about that. How do they use your footage? No, they do not have my consent to use that, but I think that would fall under fair use. I'm guessing. I'm not entirely sure. That's a good question. Does anyone know the legality of that? Them using my clips like that from my show? Like I definitely, that raised an eyebrow when I saw that, but again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how any of this stuff works. I can't, at the same time, it's like, do I mind it? Isn't that good? Free advertising? I don't know. Okay. Do you think Mike was the real name of the person? No, that was Steve Scanlon used the name Mike when he first called in. So that's another thing we learned from watching that. They are going to use that doc in court against her. He already announced it today that he's using that against her. Like, Hank loves shit like that. Loves it. I'm sure they're watching it, taking notes of everything, you know? Is Tully going to prep you like he did the McCabe's? I hope. I know, right? When do I get my prep? I'm not going to be called. That's the thing. And we're going to talk about that. Wait, Sue O'Connell said they aren't here for justice? No, she did not. No, she did not. I did not hear that from Sue. All right. I did not hear that from her. I thought she was okay from what I saw. Sue O'Connell. Yeah, I was going to say, she said it appeared the taillight was planted, I want to say. Yeah, seeing it all is a good point. Seeing it all acted out makes you realize how weird it would be for Karen to be calling John right away and over if she'd really hit him, right? I mean, it's true. It's like the phone call, like it just makes no fucking sense. No sense. Anyway. Oh, yeah, that too. I don't know why she said that. It's like, tell you that Karen Reed's biggest detriment, in my opinion, has been Karen Reed. That comment about the 6 drinks, I'm just like, didn't need to say that. You know, it's like, I know Karen Reed didn't kill John O'Keefe, but it's like, why make it more, why give them anything to use? Of course they're going to fucking use that. 6 is too many. 6 is you're drunk. You know, why? Like, I just didn't, you know, there was just no need for it. You know what I mean? It's like that. I don't know. It's like, just say 3 or 4, you know? I know she has nothing to hide, Chris, but you're missing my point. It only makes things more difficult for her because now they're going to file motions over this and use it against her. And you heard Ronnie, you know, and I'm with you. Like the Peggy O'Keefe impression, I'm all for that. That was great because that can't get her in trouble. Fuck, like Peggy O'Keefe wants to see her burn. I enjoy the fact that she's saying, fuck you, Peggy O'Keefe too, basically. Like, you know, Karen Reed knows if she's found guilty, she's fucked. She knows that. No, like being nice and polite to Peggy O'Keefe is not going to get her anywhere at all. There will be no mercy if she's convicted at all. But all right, cool. All right. Anyway, so if anybody want to have their messages read aloud to the class, you can click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat, and I will read your messages out loud to the class. Let me go read some right now. Also, my Cash App. Where'd it go? Did I lose it? Oh, yeah. My Cash App is $ Uncle Turtleboy if you want to do it that way. Okay. Wait, I'm getting a 404 on the Turtle Chat. Oh, wait, no, I'm not logged in. Hold on. One sec. All right, let me refresh this. Nope. It's not working. Hold on. Give me one moment. No, I'm not calling the web guy. All right. All right. Donations. Turtle chats. Okay. What's today? Do I have dates on these? Yeah, we do. Okay. Today's 3/18, right? Okay. So our first one here is from Frankie. Let's see what Frankie says. So Frankie sends $5 and says, roses are red. Let me be blunt. Free Karen Reed. 𝗪𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗃 a cunt. Okay. I'll allow that. That's okay. That's good. All right. Thank you. Next one. We have here $25 from Shelly with the comment. Doc, so glad for the news today. You are on the leading edge, and sometimes when we zealously advocate, they try to turn it on us. But don't stop standing up for what is right. You're so inspiring and have kept our family going in our own fight for justice for our son. A clear conscience is a soft pillow to sleep on. You are on the right side of history, and we are all so glad you are safe with family. Free Karen Reed, free Turtleboy, justice for John O'Keefe from your local Holden fans. All right, some fellow Holdenites there. Nice to see you. So thank you, man. And Celtics won. They didn't even play. They basically forfeited this game. They still won. Nice. Yeah. Let's talk about that real quick. I don't want to dwell too much on it today, but man, let me tell you, today, man, was. I hope nobody ever has to go through what I went through today, because that shit was fucking scary. No other way, it was nerve-wracking. So as you guys know, 13 days ago, I was in Canton for a meal of food, and we drank a little bit and got a little goofy outside. And we saw I saw a blinking light in the window, and I'm not gonna lie, I had Karen Reed number drinks, okay, and fell in a little bit. I guess CF McCarthy's bad luck, huh? Jeez. And so I was feeling a little randy, and I saw the light, and I looked in it for about 25 seconds, and that like everybody else strolled out, and it was like they saw what I was doing, and they started laughing because I was being goofy looking in this camera. And Will came over, and it's on video, and he does T-Rex arms at me, and we put on a little show, being a little funny. And it was nobody was threatened, no one was intimidated. It's stupid. And I didn't tell anyone to change their testimony, nothing. And I didn't even remember doing it. I'm like, when I woke up, the next afternoon, when I saw that I'd been charged, I didn't even know what it was for. I'm like, what happened? And then I'm like reviewing the whole night, and I'm like, oh, did I talk into that fucking camera? Was there sound on that? I didn't even realize there was sound. So, and of course there was, and it's illegally wiretapped. No one was there. And it's outrageous that any probable cause was determined by any magistrate or whatever. It's ridiculous. And so, but that's all it takes, man. Some judges, the only thing they want to hear is like, well, they found probable cause. So that's it. You're going to trial. Like, you have to deal with this. So, we had a like that happened. I found out about half an hour before the biggest hearing of my case, the motion to dismiss, which went amazing, but I couldn't even think about because all I was thinking about was these charges. And I really hope they rule on that, like if quickly, soon, because if you're going to drop them now. So I don't have to worry about this stupid thing. If you're not going to drop them, fine. Just let me know, but because I hate being on bail. I fucking hate this feeling. It's horrible and needs to end. And because it's got me all fucked up. So after, what was I going to say? All right. So the next day on March 6th, we have a bail hearing and new conditions of bail. We agree to them. We don't fight them. Because as my lawyers advised me, our goal is to not have your bail revoked at the arraignment. So if you agree to stay away from these people now, that's a sign of good faith, and that's kind of what they want. So we'll just stay away from them. That's all Cosgrove's going to want, So I did. I didn't fight it. Took it. Fine. Stay away orders. No problem. Well, I'm worried about this bail revocation hearing coming up. And I noticed that the judge that I want to go in front of is Judge Walsh. Okay. Because Judge Walsh is the guy who denied Jennifer McCabe a restraining order and dismissed the charges with 𝗵𝗃 𝗂𝗏. He's been very good with the First Amendment stuff. So that's awesome. So we want to go in front of him. He's on vacation this week, of course. So, we checked the judicial assignments. It's a Judge Hernan who's supposed to be there. I researched her. She doesn't show up. It's a guy named Vitaly's there. Now, so we want to avoid this hearing. So my lawyers are both busy today. Barrow's got shit in New York, and Bradel had 3 other cases today. Okay. One was in Lowell. One was in Dedham, actually. I forgot where the third one was. And so we emailed Cosgrove and said, look, we both have conflicts that day. It's a bad day for us. Can we redo it the week after? Okay. Because whatever. And, it shouldn't be a big deal. Like, this happens all the time. People reschedule arraignment dates, whatever. Like, how long did it take Jill Daniels to be arraigned for assaulting me? How long did that take? And by the way, those charges were dropped today. Not dropped, but like it was resolved. It was pretrial probation. The special prosecutor from Berkshire County, who turned out to be pretty useless, and like called me about it last week and was like, so we're going to recommend pretrial probation for that. It's not a 𝗃. It's less than a 𝗃. There is a stay away order that will be put in place on them, but it's not like a 𝗃. And I'm like, why? And he's like, well, they sent us some videos in discovery. I'm like, what videos? And he wouldn't tell me. So basically, they sent videos in of me making fun of Jill Daniels. And because I did that, it's okay to assault me in broad daylight. I mean, this is like crazy. I mean, like, imagine feeling like this. Like, you can just break the law against me all you want. The fake victim filmed me fucking banging without telling me, right? That's wiretapping. No charges, right? Holds me hostage there. Doesn't let me leave. I go to jail for some reason. I go to fucking jail for that, right? All these McAlberts freaking participate in a murder cover-up. I expose that and ask them questions. I go to jail. It's just crazy, the shit. Like, the bad guys just are, not only do they commit crimes, but they get other people to get in trouble with the law when they say something about it. I mean, it's just crazy, man. Crazy. So it gets old after a while. You're like, holy shit. Anyway, so our biggest concern is I don't want my bail revoked. If the new charge sticks, I really don't care. I'll beat this too. I can't go to jail. I have way too much going on. I got, and because I'm like thinking in 60 days, like that's what it would be for 60 days. I'm like, well, I would miss my son's first communion. His sister and his mom are going to be out of town for that at a cheer competition. So I'm the only one there. So I will miss that. I will miss my daughter's birthday, her 10th birthday. You're just thinking of all the shit that you're going to miss. I'm going to miss everything. I'm going to miss all this shit. And I'm going to miss Easter. I'm going to miss so much shit, right? I can't go to jail. It's not an option. I can't do it. So whatever it takes not to go to jail, I'm going to do that. So we email, I go, can we ask Cosgrove just so I know what I'm up against here? Is he going to try to revoke bail? You know? And so Bradel sends him an email and says, look, I got 3 cases that day. 𝗏𝗏 can't go at all. Can we go the week after? If not, if I need to send an associate down there, if it's a quick one, in and out, okay, that's fine. And so Cosgrove writes an email back to us and says that he is not planning, he has no plans to revoke the bail unless another incident happens. He didn't say we'd revoke bail if another incident happened. He goes, unless another Kearney-inspired incident happens, I think he says. Some snarky thing like that, that he's not going to revoke the bail and that he will, you know, it'll be quick. He goes, I anticipate a quick hearing, no different than the bail hearing that we had on March 6th. Okay, fine. That's all I needed to hear. It doesn't matter what judge we're going in front of if there's no motion to revoke the bail. Okay, that's literally all I cared about. So I felt good Friday after we got that. And I'm like, okay, good. But in the back of my head, I was just like, I'll believe it when I see it. Like, these motherfuckers are evil. Like, what happens if we show up and this guy has gone back on his word and he's filed a motion to revoke bail? So I didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell like anyone in my family or anything the possibility that I might have my bail revoked, because we were told, we were told that this was not an option. So I go into court, and right before we go in, Bradel comes over. And by the way, huge crowd. I love all you people that came here today. You guys made me feel welcomed and loved and supported, and it was great. I couldn't have done it without you guys emotionally. So, yeah, and I had to roll in with cash again. You know, it was, in case they only asked for 5 this time. And right before we went in, I was told that he is trying to revoke bail. And I'm like, what's changed? And they go, a comment you made about Elizabeth Proctor on Turtle Club. Okay? Turtle Club. First of all, and because I said something, like I was talking about her, it was the one where it's like she hooks up, like you're married to a cop, except I said it much more graphically than that. And yeah, when you play that in front of a judge, it's like shock value. You know what I mean? It's like, it's very filthy, my mouth, right? That's not illegal at all, but they don't like that. They're just, they look at that and they're like, well, you're a shitty person. You know, like who talks like that? It makes you unlikable. It makes you not sympathetic, you know, even though it's perfectly legal. Now, ironically, the part that they claim that Cosgrove does not watch Turtle Club. Okay. He said in court yesterday that he had it sent today. He said in court today that he had it sent to them. Okay. So first of all, enough of this shit, by the way. Okay. If I see one more person tell me this, I made a post earlier. I'm going to be very fucking clear about this right now. And mods, I'm going to tell you, any fucking person says shit like this, ban them. Fucking ban them. I'm done with this shit. That's what's going to piss me off more than fucking anything. Oh, I love you, but shut the fuck up. No, how about you shut the fuck up, Jody? Let me fucking talk. It's my fucking show. You don't stop pretending you give a fuck about me. I'm going to fucking talk now. Okay. I know what the fuck I'm doing. I've had plenty of time to think about this and dwell on it. So shut the fuck up. Okay. And that goes for everybody else saying this shit too. So I made a post earlier and I said this. Okay. And I'm going to say it again for you guys, because apparently some people didn't get the message. Okay. So here's what I posted on Facebook and on Twitter. I said, guys, I know I fucked up. I know I didn't break the law, but I also realize I put myself in harm's way. Okay. No one is more disappointed in me than I am right now. No one would have blamed me more than I would have if that hearing had gone wrong today. It was embarrassed to tell Bredel and 𝗵𝗏𝗄 what had happened because I knew they would be disappointed in me. I am well aware that these assholes want me in jail and that the corrupt police and the courts will help them do that. With that said, I do not need you to remind me of this. I do not need any more lectures. I am well aware that I put myself in this situation and I learned my lesson and I will not do it again. That's it. That's the fucking announcement, right? At this point forward, anyone who has fucking any comment like that about like, oh, I love you, Turtleboy, but you shouldn't have done that. I fucking know that, dipshit. Shut the fuck up. I don't need any more fucking lectures. Nobody is more cognizant of the situation that I put myself in than I am. No one. No one regrets what I did more than I do. Not because I did something illegal, but because I put myself in a position where I allowed these corrupt motherfuckers to try to put me in jail. Okay? That's fucking it. And I mean it. Anyone who says anything to the nature like 𝗫𝗿𝗂617 said is fucking done. The lectures are done. I have said my piece. Okay? I have made it clear that although I did nothing wrong at all legally, nothing, I've broken no laws, I put myself in that situation. I should have avoided Canton like the plague. I definitely should have not gone anywhere near D&E Pizza, not because I'm not allowed to, but because look where I ended up today. That I don't need that in my life. Nobody is beating themselves. Nobody's beating myself. I am beating myself up more than anyone on this. I have been kicking myself in the ass for the last 2 fucking weeks. So 𝗫𝗿𝗂617, I know you mean well, but time to shut the fuck up. That's it. Okay? That's it. Believe me, I learned my fucking lesson. Standing there today in court was fucking hell. There's no other way to describe it. Fucking hell. Being told 5 minutes before what is supposed to be a routine hearing that they are going to try to take away your freedom and you didn't get a chance to say bye to your kids or anything like that is fucking hell. You'll never understand what that feels like, Jody, because you're not an enemy of the fucking state. So shut the fuck up and stay in your lane. Okay? Standing there in court today, having no idea who this judge was and what he's like or who he knows or, you know, is he in a bad mood today or anything like that. I was fucking hungry. I hadn't eaten all day, right? I was thirsty. They wouldn't let me drink water. The court officers wouldn't. And all I could think was like, if they bring me away right now, which I think is a coin toss, I don't know when the next time I'm going to be able to drink water is. I'm so fucking thirsty, right? I don't know when the next time I'm going to be able to eat is, you know? And I was just like, I am going to miss so much of everything of my kids. I was so fucking nervous today, dude. I was so fucking nervous up there. And I could look in the courtroom and I kept scanning the crowd looking for, you know, and I had such great people there to support me. And it was awesome to see all these wonderful people there. And I just kept scanning the crowd, looking for smiles, signs of support, and everyone looked scared. Everyone, like every single person in that courtroom looked scared and nervous for me. It was like they were hurting too. You know, like I was not, no one was like, the positivity happened before and afterwards, but inside that courtroom, it was scary. Okay. And it was nerve-wracking. And you can tell it, you know, but if you saw my face in there, I did not look like myself today. So that was real. I'm gonna be real with you. That sucked. And no one learned their lesson more than I did. Okay. And I appreciate all the love. And Melanie Little had a good thing today, you know, about it, like very motherly, the way she spoke about it. They're concerned. People are concerned for me. I'm lucky to have people that are concerned for me. Right. but I cannot deal anymore. I don't want to hear another fucking word about you screwed up. I know that. I don't need you to fucking tell me that. Okay. I know I fucked up. So that's it. That's all I have to say about that. So I appreciate everybody being there. It was so good to walk out of that courtroom, you know, and I'll show a few minutes of the hearing so you guys can see some of it. I don't want to dwell on it too much. I have the video uploaded on my channel here. Let's pull this up. All right.
Blog on the website Turtleboy Daily News. The website has a series of articles entitled Canton Cover-Up. He goes on to describe arresting Mr. Kearney on.
I mean, this guy, I'm not even going to say shit. I could get myself in trouble, but he lied. He lied. He was dishonest. Like he tried to, this guy thought that like he was just going to come in today and put me in jail. So catless, like whatever. Fuck it. You know, he looked into a camera and smiled. He deserves to go to jail. You know, he made comments about Elizabeth Proctor, right? That, you know, we didn't like.
Charges he was later indicted with. Those indictments are still pending in Norfolk Superior Court. Chris and Colin Albert are named victims. Pizza at 614 Washington Street in Canton. Group is seen leaving McCarthy's that joins Kearney. Kearney stops in front of D&E and places his face next to the glass window. Interior camera catches him standing close to the glass, staring. You're done. Murdered, then goes inaudible. Misses you. Wishes he was alive today. He would be. Why did you do that, Chris? Chris, why did you tell the jury that?
Again, this is not mentioning the fact that I was talking about Peter Berger, and the words Peter Berger came out of my mouth. So that just didn't come up. But besides that, okay.
You got home. Why did you say you went upstairs and then waited 15 minutes? Then Colin came home. Colin didn't make it home until at least 12:45. Chris, it was Colin, Chris. I just want to know. I just want to know why Colin took so long to get to your house. Why, Chris? Please tell me why. Colin did it. You can tell me. You can tell me, Chris. I know you didn't do it. I don't want to scare you. Tell Jill to keep their hands to herself, too. The statements made by Kearney and his conduct of standing outside D&E Pizza is similar to the conduct that was the basis for his prior indictments. Kearney directed his statements into a camera that he knew would at least be seen by Chris Albert, the named victim in the pending witness intimidation case and a witness in Commonwealth versus Reed. When Chris saw the video shortly after the incident, he became.
So I'm not allowed to be seen by Chris Albert. I can't be seen by him. Okay. I didn't know that was, I didn't know being seen by Chris Albert was a crime. I didn't know I would be heard for sure.
He stated he's upset for his son, Colin, and the possibility that Kearney would continue to come to the restaurant and confront him or his son, to which I would add, as he has done in the past. Subsequent to that, and as Mr. Bradle indicated, I brought this conduct to the attention of the Superior Court at a hearing on Mr. Bradle's motion to dismiss about 2 weeks ago. Lieutenant Tully received another video.
Lieutenant, okay.
And I want to add,
so Lieutenant Tully received a video because this is what these losers do. They go and watch Turtle Club. They pay to be in Turtle Club and they clip shit and they send it to Tully, who then, because this is what the police do. This is how they spend their fucking time. This is scary that this is what our tax dollars go towards, is watching fucking Turtle Club.
And with respect to the first one, that what brought this to Chris Albert's attention was that on March 4th, he received a phone call from his son, Colin, who was working at a pizza restaurant that he owned. Colin learned that Kearney was having dinner at the restaurant next door. He was very unnerved and anxious about Kearney being next door while Colin was working. Chris, who was attending a Canton Select Board meeting, traveled to D&E following the meeting, and they closed the pizza restaurant at 9:30 and went home. He then received an alert on his cell phone from the camera system at D&E Pizza, accessed the video recordings, which Your Honor has viewed.
And I'd like to point out that this new video of Elizabeth Proctor. So he writes this email on Friday saying, if there's any incidents from this point on, I might consider bail revocation, basically. Turtle Club happened the day before. He gets sent it 3 days later. So the incident happened before he sent this email. So it's just, and you can't even say that I'm talking to Elizabeth Proctor because she's not in Turtle Club. She has not signed up for it. I've looked on the list. There's no Elizabeth Proctor in there. So obviously I'm not directing anything towards her if I think she can't hear what I'm saying.
Chris was very upset about Kearney's statements into the video camera especially given previous incidents where Kearney
I
picketed
said it
outside
on
the restaurant
Saturday.
during business
Is that what I
hours.
said it on?
It's also very concerned Kearney will continue to be outside the restaurant and will confront him, members of his family, or patrons in a similar manner Kearney has done in the past. And I think the second video that Your Honor saw was a later discovered video indicating that Mr. Kearney had been present earlier in the quarrel generally with the proposition that the First Amendment protects a wide range of free speech, and that the usual remedy for a victim of defamation is on the civil side of things and not on the criminal side. But what the defendant ignores, and I believe Mr. Bradel ignores, is the courts from the U.S. Supreme Court on down have said that where the Commonwealth or the state has a compelling interest, it can craft an appropriate limited criminal sanction regulating speech in a reasonable fashion. Orders. The typical feature of those orders, whether it's a phone call or flowers, that is
This is the same speech he gave last week.
Constitutional. Those orders, too, Your Honor, arguably impinge on rights of free.
Yeah.
The legislature, that the second reasonable limitation was to intimidate the witness. Now,
I'm intimidating the witness. Okay.
It seems to me, Your Honor, that one of two things has to be true. Either 209A orders, probation conditions,
the
witness intimidation statute.
All right.
Mr. Kearney has effectively conducted a campaign against virtually every Commonwealth witness in this case.
No.
It has been unrelenting. I don't.
Yeah, okay.
And based on that, Your Honor, I would ask you to deny the motion to dismiss.
Yeah, okay.
Can I have a couple of responses? So
Briefly.
Part of my brief, 𝗬𝗏 sets out the entire field of where the government can intrude on First Amendment. There's no provision for reasonable restrictions on this or that. There's no opportunity for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to try to criminalize civil tort law somehow.
Well, I don't think that's what Attorney Kozar was saying. I think what he was saying is that it's a different class than the general public. And while I agree with your...
And this is when I knew we were going to lose the motion to dismiss, when he said that. And again, you're looking at this guy, you're like, this guy controls my fate. He doesn't seem cool. Like he doesn't seem like he likes me, you know? He doesn't seem like he gets me. And you heard what he said that. Listen to what he says about classes of citizens here.
There's no opportunity for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to try to criminalize civil tort law somehow.
Well, I don't think that's what Attorney Kozar was saying. I think what he was saying is that it's a different class than the general public. And while I agree
that it's a different class than the general public, couldn't have summed up the problem with the witness intimidation statute any better. They are a different class than the general public. They're higher class. Their class, if you are deemed a witness in the state, which the McAlberts are temporarily, they will not be this social class for the rest of their lives. They are just, while the Karen Reed case is ongoing, they are a different class of people. And that class of people, when you are in their orbit, you no longer have First Amendment rights around them. Your rights stop. Like, that's a pretty cool class to be a part of. The class where wherever you go, there is a buffer zone around you where the First Amendment no longer exists. And people are not allowed to hurt your feelings because you are in a special class. How do none of these judges see what's wrong with this? That this is, yeah, I went to law school. There's a thing called the Constitution. I'm pretty sure it trumps any state statute. Like, you can't just pass a statute that says that we don't have free speech in Massachusetts anymore. Did Massachusetts secede from the Union? Did I miss that?
with your sentiments regarding Alvarez and the general public, what we're talking about is a more restricted class, specifically witnesses in a criminal proceeding or possible witnesses in a criminal proceeding. And in this case, a known witness in a criminal proceeding.
There's one other issue there, though, which is that there's no stay away. It's not even a stay away.
And
so that's the determining factor.
Well, that may be the determining factor at the end of the day with respect to a defense at trial, or perhaps whether or not his conduct was harassing as the statute anticipates. But the standard of proof that I need to apply here is whether or not there's probable cause that he's violated the statute. And the statute that reads that did mislead, intimidate, or harass another person who was a witness or potential witness.
Yes.
And
can I address that point?
Sure.
Thank you. I appreciate you letting me jump in there. Harassment is defined, and harassment is limited by Brian 𝗵𝗏𝗧𝘂𝗏 to true threats or fighting words. So manifestly, these videos have no threats, no fighting words.
So take the sound out of it. The video that I watched that you both submitted by agreement.
So this is so he agrees. The sound is not even a problem. The things that I'm saying in the video are not a problem. He admits that here. Listen to what he says, though.
begins with him just staring directly in the camera. He's not passing by. He walks to the camera and then he walks back in the direction from whence he came. And he's staring at the camera for a prolonged period of time before another individual comes up and starts speaking to him. And that's when the words happen. And whether or not you have a Fifth Amendment claim for the witness at trial because of wiretapping or not, it's not what's before. What's before me is whether or not there's probable cause to support the charge. And after considering your motion and the depths of research you've done on the First Amendment and considering the standard of proof that I need to apply here, which is probable cause, I'm going to deny the motion to dismiss.
Yeah. This is when I got worried too, Richie. This is when I'm like, fuck, that's really bad. Like when he said that staring at the camera, not what I said, but staring at the camera was the probable cause for charging me with witness intimidation. So this is where we've come. I'm dealing with a judge who has just said in this courtroom that staring at a camera for 25 seconds is probable cause to arrest someone for felony witness intimidation. And I'm like, okay, now it's on to the bail revocation part of this. Now I'm nervous. Now I'm definitely nervous.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I would have stricken the arraignment and allowed the motion to dismiss. That's why I wanted to address it first.
On the instant case, and I'm going to ask the court to impose a stay-away order for Mr. Albert.
Yeah, he asked for the
order that Mr. Kearney remain away 30 yards from those locations, or to limit the order here to them. Same conduct, or another species of the same conduct, for which Christopher Albert, including showing up that at that meeting, Mr. coming at him, calling him and his son a murderer.
Yeah, so he redoes the whole thing about how I showed up at a meeting, I'm close by him. It's all, this is for the stay away orders. This is not for the bail revocation.
His car, Kearney and his father surrounded it and prevented him from leaving until the police were able to back up the crowd. He's encouraged people to harass Mr. Albert at his business. He's run videos attacking members of the Albert family, including Mr. Albert's wife. I'll read you some of the titles of those, Your Honor, that were played for the grand jury.
See, this is the bullshit part. This is like dishonesty. They took my video. Like if you look back on the title, let's go back on because I want to show this. This is how much these people lie. Like episode 590 is used a lot. Okay. And I'm looking back on episode 590. Episode 590 is titled More Michael Proctor Lies Making Calls. Okay. And then episode, they use episode 604 a lot. And that one is titled episode 604, Colin Albert drops out of school. Is Brian Higgins flipping? Okay, that's the title of that one. Now, they have taken clips from those shows and given those videos their own names. They have titled these videos. I did not title. Wait till you hear the titles of the videos he has given them. Hold on.
He's run videos attacking members of the Albert family, including Mr. Albert's wife. I'll read you some of the titles of those, Your Honor.
I will read you some of the titles of those. So these are not the names of the titles. So by saying this, he's making the judge seem that this is what I'm titling my videos. And listen to what he says the titles of the videos are. This is a complete lie.
That were played for the grand jury. Episode 590, Call to Julie Albert. Julie Albert, I might add, has nothing to do with the Reed case, but in Mr. Kearney's view, she's a fair target because she's related to somebody who is. Therefore, to attack her is another way of putting pressure on and intimidating a witness. Episode 598, Life is Normal is Over. Time to Hit the Gas. No Right for Chris Albert to Live Peacefully.
Okay, so episode 598 is titled No. What is it? He say episode 598?
Albert to attack her is another way of putting pressure on and intimidating a witness. Episode 598, Life is Normal is Over.
Life is Normal is Over.
Time to Hit the Gas.
Time to Hit the Gas.
No Right for Chris Albert to Live Peacefully.
No Right for Chris Albert to Live Peacefully. That's what he claims the title of episode 598 is. Let's see what the actual title of episode 598 is. 598 is titled Breaking Down Karen Reed Defense Files Motion to Recuse Judge Kearney and Approve Gag Order. That's what the actual title is. So he's just getting up here and lying. This is like, you understand how hard that is to hear when you're standing there and you can't say shit. And this guy is just lying about you, just lying. He is trying to put you in jail and take you away from your children, your freedom, everything. And he's, in order to achieve that end, he's just standing there lying. That is not the title of episode 598. That is not the title of episode 598. This is the title of episode 598. You have just renamed episode 598 what you want it to be called to sound more dastardly. These people are evil. Like, there's no other way around this. Like, if you're going to put someone in jail, do it fairly. That is not the title. Again,
therefore, to attack her is another way of putting pressure on and intimidating a witness. Episode 598, life as normal is over. Time to hit the gas. No right for 𝗃𝗏𝗺 to live peacefully. Albert should be afraid. Kearney outside D&E Pizza. And those, Your Honor, were examples of some of Mr. Kearney's shows prior to the indictment. Indictment has not fazed him, Your Honor. He's continued to harass the Alberts and the other witnesses. When you look at the videos in this case, if you looked at them in isolation, if I looked at them in isolation as a prosecutor, I might think, oh, well, there's maybe a few sheets to the wind after his visit next door. He's clowning around. It's fairly innocuous, repulsive, but innocuous. But understandably, the Alberts and the Commonwealth look at them in the context of the prior conduct. This conduct has continued since his indictment, not only with respect to the Alberts, but as to the other witnesses. If Your Honor has viewed the exhibits submitted by Mr. 𝗏𝗏, I had some discussion with him about what I would be asking for today. And I didn't indicate, quite candidly,
here's the lie,
that I was going to move to revoke Mr. Kearney's bail. That was
So I did not indicate that I was going to revoke Mr. Kearney's bail.
not my original intention.
But
I did say, subject to, and I don't recall the exact language, but Your Honor has it in front of him, subject to what may go on between now and then. Shortly thereafter, I discovered that Mr. Kearney had gone on one of his YouTube presentations and encouraged every resident of the town of Canton to file illegal wiretapping complaints against Mr. Albert.
A complete lie. He's saying that, that the reason I'm trying to revoke his bail is that he went on his YouTube presentation and encouraged you guys all to file complaints of wiretapping against 𝗃𝗏𝗺. No, I didn't. No, I absolutely 100% did not. As a matter of fact, I've had discussions with my lawyers about this. And we specifically said we are not going to do that. If people file complaints with the police, that is their right. That is not something we're going to encourage doing, because we don't want to turn this into a stunt. This is serious. All we did was alert the public that they are being recorded when they go by there. If people feel that their rights have been violated, then they should go there. And you don't remember it happening, Dana, because it never happened. It is, again, do you understand how hard it is to stand there and listen to this guy try to put you in jail with lies? That never happened. And number two, who cares? Who cares? If people feel their rights are violated, they should go to the fucking police. That's what we're supposed to do. Is it not? Is that not what we're supposed to do? In court today, this guy actually said that. In Norfolk County, they now officially want you to put you in jail for reporting crimes to the police when you are a victim of a crime, and a McAlbert is the person who breaks the law. That is what they're saying, that 𝗃𝗏𝗺 is the victim because other people went to the police and filed reports of wiretapping against him. That 𝗃𝗏𝗺 is the victim. And this is why, guys, this is why they think that they can get away with murder. Because they can. That's why. That when Karen Reed drops her boyfriend off at the house, and they beat the shit out of him and throw him on the lawn, and he dies, they know that the police are not going to do shit to them. They know that. And then when Karen Reed attempts to fight back and defend herself, they label Karen Reed as the bad guy because she's defending herself. That's what this is. This is so fucked. This is so messed. This is so corrupt. Like, we are living, this is the most corrupt governmental institution that has ever existed. There is no difference between this like this and what Joseph Stalin did. Like, there's none. There's none. You're putting people in fucking gulags, taking their freedom away from them for nothing. And you're letting criminals walk free all the time. It's fucking insane. It's absolutely insane. It's pure evil. And again, so this is why it's like, this is the wrong day to lecture me about, oh, I care about you, Turtleboy, but this and that. Like, wrong day for that. Like, I'm not here for that today. I'm not here for that. I know that. I'm well fucking aware of that. Don't need you telling me that.
Now, I'd be the last person to say that citizens should not contact police departments if they think there's been a violation of the law. But one of Mr. Kearney's attorneys, Mr. 𝗵𝗏𝗻, had already sent a letter, which I suggest was retaliatory in intent, to the Canton Police Department, claiming that Mr. Kearney was illegally wiretapped. Well, the Canton Police can do with that whatever the Canton Police are going to do with that. I think it would be improper for me as a person charged with prosecuting, as a special prosecutor charged with Mr. Kearney, to even express an opinion to the Canton Police Department. I have my own opinion of the merits of the complaint filed by Mr. 𝗵𝗏𝗻. But that having been filed, Your Honor, what possible purpose does it serve for Mr. Kearney to encourage every citizen of the town of Canton to go and file complaints? And I suggest that it serves no purpose but to harass.
See how fucking nervous I couldn't even look up, man. I'm like, this is fucking scary what they're trying to do. You know what I mean? I'm like, this guy is just sitting here fucking lying about me, telling me that I am encouraging people to harass Chris Albert. I mean, it's just crazy. Everything, when you try to stand up for yourself, Chris Albert's a fucking victim. Madness. Madness.
Mr. Albert, I would also suggest that it's difficult to look at that video and think anything but that Mr. Kearney clearly saw the video camera, which was visible in the window, and wanted that video recording to be seen and, if possible, heard by Mr. Albert.
Why would I want that?
Think one of the things that may be concluded by the Canton Police, and I don't want to get too far out in front of my skis, is that the illegal wiretapping statute requires that there be secretive video.
No.
When a video camera is clearly...
No. The wiretapping statute, 𝗁𝗏, which you know, because you're a former judge, does not say anything about secret video. It says secret audio. I am well aware that they can video me. Lots of businesses video you. They have surveillance cameras everywhere. It's the audio portion, the eavesdropping, the listening into your conversations. You know that, 𝗁𝗏.
By the Canton Police, and I don't want to get too far out in front of my skis, is that the illegal wiretapping statute requires that there be secretive video. And when a video camera is clearly visible in the front of the store, I would suggest that's not secretive, and therefore it's not illegal wiretapping. But if it is, I think when the Canton Police act against Mr. Albert, they can then do a survey of the whole town and possibly bring charges against everyone who has one of those doorbell videos.
I mean, it's, and we discussed this, 𝗵𝗏𝗻 and Bradel and I were like, how are Ring cameras legal? And then we researched it all, and Ring actually warns people in two-party consent states that you have the option to turn off audio. And if you live in a two-party consent state, that's up to you. You need to be cognizant of that you can't do that. So yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe this should be a wake-up call to everyone, but that is how the law is written. And if you're going to enforce this ridiculous witness intimidation statute against me in the light least favorable to me, then you need to enforce the wiretapping statute as it's literally written in regards to everyone. That's it. That's it.
That said, Your Honor, it was still not my intention to move to revoke Mr. Kearney's bail.
Here's this, the Proctor.
But then I became aware.
Just
a day or two ago, and I only became aware of this yesterday afternoon, Your Honor.
Yep.
Mr. Kearney on his show.
I became aware of this yesterday afternoon, aka someone sent it to me.
Engaged in about a 10 or 15 minute vile attack on Elizabeth Proctor, describing graphically her giving oral sex to her husband and other such comments. Elizabeth Proctor has nothing to do with Karen Reed.
Okay, so what? It's not pretty. It's not proud. Whatever. Where is the illegal part? Where's the illegal part? And then he says that Elizabeth Proctor has nothing to do with Karen Reed,
Case, except that she is the wife of a police officer involved in the investigation.
Yeah, she's a wife that inserted herself into it. You know whose wife I have never written about? 𝗵𝗂𝗺𝗧. I don't know anything about her. I used to be Facebook friends with her prior to this. She was a follower of mine, apparently. I don't know shit about her because she doesn't go around harassing people at their place of work. That I don't do anything to Brian Tully's wife. Don't even know what she looks like. Couldn't tell you. There's only one wife that I've ever written about because she was acting like a bully. And she continues to act like a bully. And she continues to seek media attention for herself and put herself in the spotlight. That's Elizabeth Proctor. No other cop wives have I done that to. So to act like I'm just attacking her because she's poor, innocent Michael Proctor's. I mean, Michael Proctor's wife. After everything Michael Proctor has done, the fact that anyone wants to pretend that he or his wife are victims of anything is laughable.
And witness in the case, and therefore fair game for Mr. Kearney. And I mention this in particular, Your Honor, because one of the things that I understand the Commonwealth needs to show is that no order entered by the court is likely to be effective in eliminating the threat to the public, or in this case, the threat to the witnesses in the Karen Reed case and in the Kearney case.
The Kearney.
And I would suggest the threat to the fair and objective administration of justice.
The threat.
And I think that Mr. Kearney, by his conduct, has amply proved to the court that he is going to keep going with his intimidating conduct as long as he is free.
Intimidating.
And therefore, I ask the court to revoke his bail.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor.
So notice what she didn't say about how is the Proctor video a violation of the, you know that Krusty's the one that sent him that. Because in that clip, I say something like you, or instead of saying she, I do this sometimes when I'm talking and I'm like, you, I say instead of she. Like, how could you, what were you thinking instead of what was she thinking? And so then they take that clip and they're like, well, you were talking, you said you, so you were directing it at her. And it's like, it's just a slip of the tongue. And I'm not actually speaking to her. But that's how, and so in that clip, I say you instead of she, and the comment, but Cosgrove doesn't understand that. So Krusty sends that to him and is like, oh, good. But Cosgrove thinks like, oh, wait. Oh, he's saying these disgusting things about oral sex. And Krusty must be sitting at home going like, fuck no, Cosgrove, you fucked it up. It's because he said he fucked it up. So he didn't even deliver it right, if that makes sense. But I'm never directing anything at them. If it's a slip of the tongue, I want to be very clear. I assume at all times that no McAlberts are ever watching my fucking show. Why would they? So of course I wouldn't direct anything at them. If I was directing anything at anyone, I would preface it with like, listen up, or something like that. I hope you listen. And like I'm not doing that though.
Use the word retaliatory. This entire bait and switch that the Commonwealth has perpetrated on me and Mr. Kearney is the only thing that's retaliatory here. On Friday, counsel emailed me with respect to the bail issue here today. I said to him that I had, at the time, 2 other cases today. I actually have 3 other cases today. I said, I don't have time on that date, meaning today, to do what we've been doing here for however long. I said, if we're going to have a quick bail hearing where the issue is how much money and stay away orders that we've already agreed to in front of Judge Doolin in Superior Court, that's what I expected today. And I've never, 32 years of practicing law, had a prosecutor or seen another prosecutor when I was a prosecutor say to me, yeah, come on in, we'll get this done quick, everything's going to be fine, and then come into court with 5 minutes before coming before Your Honor and say, no, we're going to revoke his bail. Oh, really? Why? Because he said something nasty about somebody. And here's the kicker, Your Honor. In a private show that people have to pay to hear, not in public, to a private audience that somehow got leaked out to whomever. And that show was Thursday night before the Commonwealth committed to a normal bail hearing where there was a very minimal issue at stake. And now the Commonwealth wants to come in here on 5 minutes notice to me and change it up because of this pretextual excuse about something he said that is non-criminal, non-actionable, that he doesn't like in a private setting. That's what's retaliatory, Your Honor.
Well, perhaps I can short circuit all of this.
Please do.
Wasn't this addressed in front of the Superior Court? This conduct was addressed?
It was, Your Honor.
So I think under my reading of the bail statute, Mass General Laws, Chapter 276, Section 58B, that the motion to revoke has to be brought at the first appearance in court. It doesn't say which court. It says first appearance in court. If he got arrested in Chelsea, this hearing would be happening in Chelsea at the moment of his arrest. And so the idea that this was addressed in front of the court who's hearing the case on which the Commonwealth seeks to revoke, and there were conditions placed as opposed to bail being revoked at that point in time, I think was the first appearance, and I'm procedurally.
Like, as soon as I heard that, I'm like, I'm going home. Sweet. That's when that was the first positive thing I heard happen. I'm like, oh, he is passing the buck. Like, that's what he's doing here. He's not saying that, like, he didn't do anything dangerous, because you have to be a danger in order to have your bail revoked. That's what the law says. And I'm not a danger to anyone, as much as Cosgrove tried to make it seem like I am. And so as soon as he said this, it's like, well, he's not saying that I'm not a danger. He's just saying procedurally, you guys fucked up. And so that way I get to kind of wash my hands clean of this. I didn't revoke his bail. I don't have to deal with the outrage with that. And at the same time, I'm not choosing to keep him on the streets. You did that, Cosgrove. He's kind of blaming Cosgrove here.
Denying the motion to revoke bail because I don't think it's properly before this court.
Thank you, Your Honor. In that case, we would agree under Section 87, Your Honor, to the stay away orders requested.
What about the cash bail request?
And Judge, in terms of a cash bail, Mr. Kearney's got no record. He's been to every court appearance. We talk, 10 times a week. He has 2 kids, lives in Holden. He's a former school teacher who shows that he does every single night. I don't know of anybody who has more boots in here that is not going to cause any sort of flight. So we ask that you forego a cash bail, Your Honor. And he's absolutely willing to just make it a Section 87 agreed on bail condition relative to stay away orders.
It's not supposed to be. I know.
Allow him to appear on his personal recognizance. Thank you.
So after hearing on bail, I'm going to release the defendant on personal recognizance with the following conditions: stay away, no contact, no abuse of the Alberts, remain 100 yards away from the pizza shop and any other workplace, stay 100 yards away from their residences. That's with the consent of the defendant.
Correct, Your Honor.
Fucking nervous, dude. Nervous.
May 15th, Your Honor.
That's fine. Is that one of the
Yeah. So anyway, that's so that was my day. So I was really stressed out today, and so today's just the wrong day to tell me that, like, oh, you fucked up. Yeah, believe me, I realize that. I'm well aware of that. So, like, like Jody's messaging me all upset now. It's like, just take a fucking, just stop. I'm not trying to do a whole thing here. Okay. But just chill. Okay. Chill. I know it. I know I fucked up. So there's that. But yeah, I did. I had a nice cut. I'm glad you like that, Dana and Nicole. I appreciate that. The barber did a good job this week. So, it was for a time to be, at least I had that going for me today. So there's that. Okay, cool. Anyway, let me read some more. Turtle chat's here. Okay. I have no idea where we left off. So I'm just going to read a bunch of these here. And I'm going to try to bang through them quick because I still got to get to today's hearing, like the actual hearing that happened today. So I think I've read 2 turtle chats. I read one, and then I went on an hour rant talking about today's hearing, which we were going to do anyway, So there's that. Okay. All right. All right. Josephine sends $25, goes, thank you for defending our rights to speak and for people saying you should stop doing what you do. Would they be happy if Karen was incarcerated? I think not. Love you, Flamingo Chicky. Yeah, it's not a binary choice. I get it. It's like, you can believe that I should tone it down a bit and support Karen Reed's freedom at the same time. I get it. But as far as I'm concerned, I hold the position that Everything I did is legal. Everything I did is legal. I'm allowed to do those things. But, you know, we're dealing with a corrupt government that's willing to put me in jail over over things that are avoidable. Like, let's be honest, they're not illegal, but they're avoidable. And I don't need to put myself in that position anymore. So I'm not going to. Because, like, I posted a picture on Twitter. Dude, when I came, man, getting out of that courthouse today, whew, oh my God, just coming out of there. It's like, whew, you don't even think it's real. And then, like, I'm just being back here today. I'm just like, oh my God, I am so lucky to be here right now. Like, this is so much better than the alternative. Like, I'm going to be back in fucking medical, like back in hell, you know? And no, instead I'm here and I'm playing basketball with my son. Like, I couldn't picture anything I'd rather be doing right now than that. Nothing on God's green earth would I rather be doing than playing basketball with my kid at that point. Nothing. So that was the best thing fucking ever. So thank you. All right. Next thing. Melanie sends $10, goes, Dr. Daddy, today was a wild ride, but Arca is in and you are out. I'm not out though. Also, you looked very cool and good in the new documentary. Have you long time. Love your fit. Free Karen Reed, free Turtleboy, RIP Clay. Yeah, thank you. Arca is in, and we're gonna get to that. That was fucking great and quick and awesome. And at the same time, I'm not out. They're trying to keep me out, and I tweeted this out earlier. I tweeted what Peggy O'Keefe said to me on the way out, just in case anyone's inclined to feel bad for her. She said to me on the way out, let me see here. So she's walking by me and she looks at the court officer. She's right next to me and she goes, what the hell is he doing here? That's all she says. What the hell is he doing here? And she seemed like genuinely confused. What the hell is he doing here? I'm at every hearing. Why wouldn't I be here? That said it all. They obviously told her, we are going to put him on the witness list so you don't have to see him again. That's obviously what they told him. That is quite obvious. So, but luckily, some of the things that happened in court today are going to make that a lot harder to keep me out. And we don't want to get too into that. But just the fact that is Peggy O'Keefe's goal, is to keep me out of court. Like, this is her son's murder trial. And he's like, I hope Turtleboy's not there. What the fuck does she care if I'm there? I don't do anything in the courtroom. She's much more, she doesn't want them because her friends don't want, her friends, the McAlberts, the people who murdered her son, and she hangs out with them because she wants to be a McAlbert very badly. They're the ones that are, by the way, Peggy, and in case you didn't know this, they're laughing at you. They're like, yes, we killed her fucking son. And this idiot allows us to come to court with her and pretend like we're the fucking good guys. Wow. How lucky are we that the guy we killed is, you know, the son of this moron, because that's what she is. She's a moron. So there's that. Okay. All right. Thank you for that one. Christina sends $15, goes, Dr. Uncle Turtleboy, we the people love you. Oh, thank you. You are as innocent as Karen. Please never apologize to us. You and Karen fight for all our freedoms and civil liberties. Would you rather us monthly subscribe to your channel or donate some amount to you and Karen's defense fund? This is going to be a long year. We need to support you both through this marathon. Ask for a good account. I mean, whatever you feel is best. You know, money's money. You know, it's like one way or another, it all goes to the same place. So whatever you feel is best. You know, if you join Turtle Club, you get something out of it too. You know, so you're purchasing a membership to a club that gets you content that no one else gets, and you get ad free on the website, which is very cool because we don't like those pop-ups. So thank you very much for that. Next one, Melissa sends $5, goes, I need a t-shirt of Aidan behind a window with the caption, window intimidator. I know. When Melanie Little called you that today, I died laughing. I mean, we're talking about a window here. That was just amazing to think about. So thank you for that. Thomas Autonomous Anonymous sends $10, goes, Cosgrove brings up the proctors like they were shrinking violets, but not that they were putting out statements in interviews. He sure brought up comments made on sex cults. He also admitted Peter Berger 2 hearings in a row. Yeah, almost like as if it's by design. Thank you. Brittany sends $10, goes, I prayed for you. God is good. Stay out of Norfolk County unless it is for court. I know. I'm with you on that one, Brittany. My mom would have killed me if she saw that fucking video. She'd be like, what are you doing? You know? Allison sends $10 and says 2 things. First, I'm so happy that you got to go home today. What a relief that must be. Those assholes really wanted you in jail, and I'm glad they failed. And secondly, Auntie Bev is a bitch. That is all. Very true statements. Thank you, Allison. CPAP sends $10, goes, so happy for you. I was worried. Good decision today. Well, thank you, CPAP. You know, and obviously I was very worried as well. So I am so grateful that I'm here right now. I'm so grateful I get to go and sleep in a bed tonight and get to be at the bus stop tomorrow. I will never appreciate it more than like after the roller coaster that I was put through today, you know. Ann sends $20 and goes, it wouldn't be Tuesday without Turtleboy. So thankful you are home with your kids. Hug them tight and take them out for a nice meal of food. Yes, we will definitely do that. Thank you, Ann. Turtleboy's technical troubles. Terry sends $5 and goes, my husband and I always take a bet on what's going to fuck up at the start of your show. Glad you're still with us. Free Kearney for Turtleboy. I know it's almost become part of the content. You know, it's part of my charm. The fact that you come on here and like some technological things fucked up. Chloe Albert's always busting my chops over it, but Turtle Club has gone pretty effectively recently. So give me some credit. It's actually gone well. So thank you. All right, next one. Nicole sends $10, goes, hi, Dr. Daddy. Watching on vacation in Jamaica. Just want to say Spanky, because we all know he's watching. Do your best. No matter what you do, you will never make anyone with a brain think Karen did this. You are a disgrace and a dirty little whiny corrupt loser. We all see right through you. We ain't got no quit. Free Karen Reed, free daddy. Well, thank you very much, Nicole. And you're absolutely right about that. Melissa sends $10, goes, don't change, Turtleboy. You are a truth teller and a free speech advocate. You have saved Karen's life. Free speech is worth the sacrifice and saves all of us. We love you. Well, thank you very much, Melissa. Jolene sends $10 and goes, hey, hello, doctor. I need a prescription for anxiety medication. My heart, Wellbutrin. I forgot to take my meds. Like it was a tough one today, but my heart was not very well there, awaiting that decision. My husband thought I was getting word of a death. Thankfully, you are still a free turtle. For anyone saying you and Karen shouldn't do this or that, how do you navigate this crazy path where the rules of the world don't apply? Love from Derry, Ireland. God bless you, Jolene, over in Ireland. Thank you. Sandra sends $100. Whew, thank you, Sandra. And she said, you did nothing wrong, but you got to keep your eyes open because you're fighting evil. It's hard to believe these old men like Cosgrove and Mello have no pride and are willing to bow down to evil. It's very unfortunate. And I will have a lot more things to say when this is all over, believe me. But for now, I'm going to sip, you know what I mean? I'm going to do what I need to do to protect myself and stay out of jail. That's my number one goal here. Stay out of jail. Romy sends $50 and goes, I had a nervous colon during your hearing today. Lessons learned. Don't be too hard on yourself. Give yourself some grace and keep moving forward. Well, and I appreciate that, you know. And again, no one's harder on me than I am on myself. But you know, I played with fire, man, and I regret it. It's no other way. And if I was sitting in jail for 60 days thinking about that fucking video, that would have been a tough pill to swallow, man. Tough pill to swallow. Sandra sends $50 and goes, Sandra here again. Forgot to ask, do you think KP has someone from court telling her what's happening at sidebar? She tweeted right after Bev, Karen, and defense had a sidebar this morning. No, I saw people were saying that. I don't think so. No, she would have no way. No one can hear what they're saying. She actually lies a little. Like at first, I was able to hear it just a tiny bit, but then they turned. No one could hear it. So thank you for that. And that's a small courtroom. Mitchell sends $10, goes, Turtleboy, your show, love your show. You're smart and funny. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you very much, Mitchell. Glamasu sends $25 and goes, Plymouth County has subpoenaed the New Yorkers off-the-record notes and tapes from their interview with Patrick Clancy. Massachusetts needs a reporter shield law. Yes, they do, Glamasu. You're absolutely right about that. And Representative Nick Boldiga is working on that. So thank you. Butters Stotch sends $11. It goes, hey, Unc, crazy day today. As a fellow journalist, I'm so jealous of the brass balls you continue to show. Keep writing. One question, why can these people get all up in arms about a cop BJ, but they make no complaints about constantly being called various adjectives for people who unlike people? I don't understand the question, but I get it. I get it. So definitely a double standard there, Butters. So thank you. $5 for Paulie O'Keefe and says, I've been thinking about the witness intimidation claims by the McAlberts. A good mother would get her daughter into best of therapy and should be able to admit that proudly on the stand if they have nothing to hide, and being subjected to complete unwarranted harassment, I think would be very telling. If 𝗃𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗃 hasn't put Allie into therapy, you know, it's true. Who knows if she has? Who knows what's real and what they're just using to feel bad for themselves? But it's just absurd. I mean, that they get to sit there and be victims. Like, do you have any idea what my family has been through? Do you give a fuck? It's like that's why I just have no tolerance for it. Like, you have no idea, no fucking clue what my family's like. Does that matter, or is it just Jennifer McCabe's family that matters? Just or Liz Proctor's family? They're the people who matter, you know. Because they get up there and cry. It's just evil. $30 from Amanda. It says, Turtleboy, Dr. Aidan, I was thinking about you all morning. And when that notification came across my phone that you were not going to jail, it was an amazing feeling. Thank God. So glad you are unapologetically you. You don't let any of these retarded fucks throw you off your game. I know you don't like the sappy shit, but today is a special day. Oh, I don't mind the sappy shit. So thank you very much, Amanda. I appreciate that. Mr. Hanky sends $5 and goes, I know what I'm doing is wrong, but I'm trying to help a friend. I wasn't aware this was this much corruption. I might be in over my head. I am really a piece of shit, but I'm really close to colon. P.S. I am a member of Turtle Club and I like your bulge. Well, thank you, Mr. Hanky. That's very nice of you, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Next up, Nancy sends $20. Goes, shout out to the Franklin Panthers Division I boys basketball champs. Are they really? Free Karen Reed, free Dr. Turtleboy. See, so Franklin won the state title. That's good. They lost it last year in the finals to Worcester North High School. I went there. I was rooting for North because I'm a Worcester boy myself. But congratulations on redemption to the Franklin boys basketball team. So good job. Kevin from South Boston. And by the way, also congratulations to the 𝗵𝗂𝗃 girls. That's Holden's regional high school. They won the Division I state championship for girls basketball in one of the most exciting finishes. I got to see this. Actually, this is you got to see the way this ended. So it was just a back and forth game with Bishop Feehan, right? And like it was just back and forth. It means girls basketball, but I like girls basketball. It's fundamentals, good shit. And it came down. It was like 1 second left. Hold on. No, it was like 15 seconds left. And Bishop Feehan, who beat 𝗵𝗂𝗃 in the state title last year, right? I'll show. Let's see. This is so 𝗵𝗂𝗃 gets the ball, and then this happens. Check this out. Watch this play. And that's how they won the state championship. That's fucking like, look at this. Look at this stride. Look at this girl's. Watch this. I mean, I showing my son this. I'm like, look at this. Watch this play. Watch this fucking play. All right. All right. First up, look at this girl. Pick. Watch this pick right here. Pick. Gets open. All right. That gives her a little room. Then watch number 2 over here. Moves over, sees her, passes right to her. This is obviously the tallest girl on the team. She sizes. Okay, we got a mismatch here. I got like 4 inches on this girl. And then the pick. I love a good pick in basketball. I love a good pick. And then, okay, as soon as this pick happens, she's like, look at this. Boom, boom. Just got to get through her because she's taking care of this one. I'm 6 foot tall. I have a long stride. And watch this. Ready? There's the dribble. Okay, right. Okay. That's one step. One step right here. She has stopped dribbling at this point. She's almost at the 3-point line. 1 step, 2 step, jump, down. That's fucking beautiful. What a thing of beauty that is. Fucking love basketball. It's the greatest game. I love basketball. I love watching basketball. I love coaching it. And that is just a beautiful, beautiful fucking basketball in action. And congratulations to the Franklin boys and the 𝗺𝗎𝗂𝗺 girls on winning state titles. So thank you very much. Okay, cool. Next up, Lex P sends $10 and goes, no one believes you were my high school teacher. LMAO, free Karen Reed, free Turtleboy. Wait, which Lex P is this? Lex P. Who's Lex P? Well, I don't know. I guess I was. I had a lot of students, Lex P, and I'm sure you were a wonderful kid too. So thank you very much. Next up, Emily sends $10, goes, as Jill Daniels would say about today's hearing, today's a good day. I know, right? Andrew sends $50, goes, has anyone wondered why would Karen wait by the car for 10 minutes outside if John was with her? He had to be inside. I also think John went in and was asked to go straight to the basement, which could explain others in the house didn't see him except for his killers who went to the basement with him. I mean, I don't theorize about when he goes in the house. I don't do that because I don't care. All I care is if he went in the house, and then it's not Karen Reed's problem anymore about what happened. The second he walks in that house, it is somebody else did it, and it wasn't her. She's the only person who is ruled out as the suspect after John O'Keefe walks inside that house, period. Done. So, thank you for that one. And I did, one of the things Karen said, or we thought of last night, correct me if I'm wrong. And I know you guys would know this stuff, but didn't Karen Reed call John at 12:27? Did that happen? Didn't Karen Reed call John at 12:27? Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know, please, in the comments. Did she call John at 12:27? People are saying yes. I'll wait for more. Usually I'll be flooded with answers in a second. Okay, everybody's saying yes. Okay. So if he called her at 12:27, why didn't he answer? Right? So by the Commonwealth's theory, she ran John over at 12:32, right? Okay. So she ran John over at 12:32 according to the Commonwealth. So at 12:27, he's alive, they're saying. Conscious, healthy, all that stuff. And inside Karen Reed's car. Even though Ryan Nagel, Heather Maxson, and Ricky Downtown do not see him in there. Why the fuck is Karen Reed calling John if she's sitting next to him? Has anybody ever asked that? That's one of the things that just came to me last night. Why the fuck would Karen call John if John was literally sitting next to her? Was she butt dialing too? Is she in on the butt dialing? That's what he did answer. So why the fuck? I thought he answered. So why the fuck is Karen calling John at 12:27 if she's sitting next to him? And why the fuck is he answering? Were they talking on the phone next to each other? How does that make any sense? That makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Because again, they are the ones that have kind of got themselves stuck with this 12:32 thing. Well, that makes the 12:27 call make no fucking sense at all. Like, how do you explain that one? Because he's alive at 12:27, according to them, right? According to them. Anyway, that one, it's the more you think about it, the more fucked up it is. Thank you. Courtney sends $50 and goes, fuck them. Don't you dare let them stop you. Be strong and very courageous. God is the final say, not the Commonwealth. Don't ever forget that ever. You're right, Courtney. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you always having my back. Again, just got to stay out of jail. Number one goal. Thank you. Tiffany sends $25, goes, if the Yoruba skanks aren't coming in, how can they even try her on murder? Wasn't that their whole BS motive? Thoughts? Free Kearney Reed, free Turtleboy. A lawyer, seems to, Peter Tragos thinks today, he thinks they're going to drop that. And I don't know about drop, but not put up much of a fight. That's for goddamn sure. Although I always said that you don't back into somebody going 24 miles an hour on accident. That makes no sense. I'll never understood people that were for manslaughter, but not murder. Like, how does that make sense? So 24 miles an hour was an accident. Drive your car 24 miles an hour and tell me that's a fucking accident, that you could do that. No one could do that. No one could do that. No fucking way. That was an accident. Impossible. Because it didn't happen. So, but bad day for the Sullivan sluts. Bad day for the Sullivan sluts. They don't get to come on and talk about the Godfather and use all these gay ass cliches about Johnny and this and that. And they're just miserable white trash skanks. Oh, horrible. So thank you for that one. They're out. And so we don't have to hear from them this trial. It's great. Elaine sends $50 and says, for fuck's sake, Aidan, not even sure I watched the hearing live, but I didn't actually realize how invested I was in the truth until I thought your bail was going to be revoked. Carry on cautiously, please. Justice for Karen. Fight for Aidan. Justice for John. Fuck corruption. Much love from Queensland, Australia, Elaine. Well, thank you, Elaine, and good day, mate. I appreciate that. Even though your toilets go the wrong way, I still got a lot of respect from my Aussies down there. Thank you. Kelly sends $5 and goes, do you think they should give breathalyzers to everyone who testifies? I mean, we might have to call that the Paul O'Keefe rule, Kelly. We might have to do that. So thank you very much. Leah sends $10, goes, the hypocrisy amazes me. Terry claims that, quote, John got lost in all this. The second they say John got lost in all this, I know that you're going the wrong direction. This idea that John's got lost in this is a complete fucking lie. Why? Because I'm not Tara Kerrigan. So this idea that Karen Reed is innocent, that we want Karen Reed to not be lynched. So John's been forgotten. What the fuck? That makes no sense. So she goes, that said, how does she justify titling her docuseries A Body in the Snow? I know. And why did she, how about this? Why did she not, if John has been forgotten in this, then why didn't Terry Muir follow around John's family for the documentary? Why did they approach Karen Reed, the villain, and ask to follow her team around and get behind the scenes with Karen Reed's team? Why didn't she, if somebody had gone to the O'Keefes, a documentarian early on, and said, we're so sorry that she's doing this to you, putting your family through this. We would like to make a documentary from your perspective about the trial, they would say yes. But Terry knows that that's not Cash Money. Cash Money is following around Karen Reed. So she was following around Karen Reed because it was Cash Money and it was cool. And then the verdict didn't go the way she wanted it to do. So now she's doing this whole, like, let's get Brendan Kane on here and Plevin and all these other idiots, So there's that. Thank you. She goes, don't you mean John? The double standards and idiotic justification all around is wild. This is just one that stands out. There's many. I know, Leah. Amanda sends $15, goes, Turtleboy, never shut the fuck up. Continue, please, being you. First Amendment is here for a reason. You broke 0 laws. I agree, Amanda, but again, just got to stay out of jail. Thank you. The Procta Imposta sends $10, goes, I'm happy for you. I'm even happier for your kids, even though this was a big win for you. It was even bigger for them. Whew, tell me about it. Take them out tomorrow and celebrate. You only live once. Yeah, but they would have no reason. They wouldn't even know why I'm so happy, but it's like I am, Oh, so happy. So thank you. Next up. The Turtle, sends $10, goes, my Tortuga, hoping they drop those bullshit charges, man. Honestly, this shit doesn't surprise me one bit. Damn, these people are truly heartless. True supporters got your back. The neighborhood friendly tortoise. Tell baby Clay not to abort us. Spank my Bren hen, please, and show me Auntie Bev's knees. Coral, that swollen colon. Don't tell me you can't, man. You from Cantan. Okay, thank you, sir. Carolyn sends $25, goes, you are a gonzo journalist. Gonzo journalism started by Hunter S. Thompson. He wrote for, I know who he is. I think you sent this last time. You hold his torch. He was an epic troller before it was a thing. You were a modern Hunter Thompson. Thompson. He is rolling in his grave. Gonzo journalism has inspired many, many boundary-pushing writers and creatives. God bless. You know, I could do what I'm doing in any other state but Massachusetts without any problems. This could only happen in Massachusetts, literally, because we're the only state that has a statute like this. So thank you very much for that, Carolyn. Gray Space sends $5, goes, you should be allowed to be a normal person who can have a drink and do a goof off with your friends without being constantly hyper vigilant about how that's going to be used against you in court. No one can keep that up 24/7. You deserve to be able to exist in public without fear. You know, you're right. You're 100% right. I should be able to do all those things, but the reality is I'm not. You know what I mean? I should, and I'm legally allowed to, but am I willing to go to jail for that? You know, or I could just, you know, like I'm giving up part of my freedoms, you know, because it's better than jail. Like, that's all it comes down to. So thank you. Ann sends $10 and goes, congratulations, doctor. It was a great day today. I'm so happy you're spending your night with us and not in jail. Also, thanks for pointing out the positive parts of the Discovery ID show, because I really enjoyed watching Karen's side of the story. As did I. You know, I thought that was cool. But again, you know, I don't think she's going to convince anyone with this documentary. It's just going to divide people more, but I'm okay with that. And if she wants to tell her story more, I mean, we're very similar, her and I, in that, you know, we both would like to do things. It's not fair that we have been wrongly arrested and charged with crimes. And as a result of that, both of us have to hold our tongue about shit, because bad faith actors will use anything we say against us. And that's not fair, but it is what it is. And, you know, what are you going to do? You know, Arlene sends $10, goes, from, I just need a latte. Please don't use my given name. It's my first turtle chat. Too late. Compassion fatigue is a thing. Please take care of yourself. I personally know how it can creep up on a person. Your post on X took courage and vulnerability, and my respect and regard for you increased tenfold. Well, thank you. Keep asking questions. Keep bringing to light the darkness of corruption. She's talking about the post where I'm like, look, I realized I put myself in this position. I take ownership for the, you know, although I am not saying I did anything wrong. I am admitting that I would not do that again, you know? So it's true. I can only tell the truth. So thank you. Kayla sends $5 and goes, you should be allowed to be a normal person who can get a little drunk. Oh, wait, I thought I read that one. Thank you, Kayla. There was the one about getting a little drunk. I think you sent that earlier under gray space too. So thank you, Kayla. Amy sends $100 and says, I find myself getting so angry on your behalf. Thank you, by the way, Amy, $100 for what they're doing to you. Don't ever change who you are, and don't let anyone intimidate you or threaten you into silence. Michigan loves the doctor, and the doctor loves Michigan. And, you know, it's kind of fucked up that they put Michigan and Michigan State in the same bracket. But, you know, Michigan State Michigan won the Big Ten. That was pretty cool. They've been an up and down season for the Big Ten was wide open this year. You know, Michigan State, and I love all the Michiganders. I know you guys are all out there. There's a whole bunch of you people from Michigan. So go Lions. So there's that. Thank you. Okay, got a few more here, and then we're going to watch today's hearing. So we're past 11. Holy fucking shit. Got a bunch of these. Vicky Williams sends $100 and goes, for your defense, from a boomer, even though you use that term as an insult. I kid. I caught myself holding my breath during your hearing today. So glad you got to walk out of there. Free Karen Reed Turtle. If you caught your breath during the night today, which I totally understand and I appreciate, think of how hard you're going to be holding your breath waiting for that Karen Reed verdict to come in. Like, imagine that. Hold on. Just want to put this down a little so I don't disappear. Hold on. Like, think of the anxiety Karen Reed's going to have waiting for that verdict. Like, so multiply whatever I had today times 10. And when I mean Karen Reed, I mean all of us. We're all going to have that kind of anxiety waiting for that, aren't we? So that's going to be a wild feeling when that happens. Oof, I can't wait to get off this ride, bro. It's been going on for too long. It's not good for anyone. It just needs to fucking end. Like, it's fucking crazy. All right, next up. Dana Nicole sends $50. Thank you, Dana Nicole, and says, take your little man out for ice cream after confirmation. Communion, first communion. That comes much later, confirmation. I'm so glad you will be there to take him. And me too, Dana. Me too. It'll be a beautiful spring day when that happens. It's going to be great. Thank you. Britt Appen sends $10 and goes, my stomach twisted 100 times for you. What about your 300-foot allowance for the courthouse? Does that still stand after today? That's a good question. My understanding is that it does, because that was the initial order out of Superior Court, which I'm assuming takes precedent here. So that was the initial bail condition. So I'm assuming that it applies. And there's that. So thank you much for that. We can always get it amended as well. Britt Happen sends $25 and goes, by the way, pretty rich of the one with the illegally recording camera to run to the police every time he is upset, but he looks for people to tear down on Twitter. He sure found me. If I lived in Massachusetts, I'd call Tully every time he sends a mean tweet. I know, but they wouldn't do shit because he's part of a protected class. He can do whatever he wants. So thank you, Britt Happens. Julie sends $5, goes, doctor, sending love from Kansas. I watched the doc yesterday, and what Peggy said to Karen about him being hit by a car reminded me of exactly something my boyfriend's narcissistic mother would say to me. You're right. Peggy didn't like Karen well before John died. Like I said, I'm glad Karen did that impression, because like, oh, I can totally picture how awkward that is. And it fully explains why they got the fuck out of there. So thank you. Adelaide J sends $25 and says, I don't understand how have any of these judges seen your videos on how these assholes behave that are so frightened of you. No, they haven't. And we're not able to enter them into evidence until, trial or whatever. I just can't. I love my other daddy. Free Karen Reed, free Turtleboy, and justice for Officer John O'Keefe. Thank you very much, Adelaide J. Marissa sends $100. Thanks, Marissa. It says, never stop being you, Turtleboy. We all stand behind you. Keep your head up. Thanks for all you've done for Karen, free Karen Reed, and free Turtleboy. Well, thank you, Marissa. You are the best, and I'll do that. Danielle sends $25, goes, thank God you're here, Aidan. We depend on you for strength and confidence, our fearless leader. So seeing the pain in your face today was horrible, and I'm sure we will all agree I felt your pain. Nothing pisses me off more than I told you so is being told when I did something dumb. So fuck those people. Love your friend, chin up always. I wouldn't mind it if I didn't already tell myself that. Like, I get that I need to hear that, and people, it comes from a place of love. I get it. But like, you can just put yourself in my shoes. Like, I've heard it a million fucking times, and I know, and I just, eventually I'm human, and I'm going to be like, shut the fuck up after a while, because I just want to make it clear I don't want to hear that shit anymore. Done with it. Rod sends $5 and goes, 24/7, 365, Turtleboy derangement syndrome. Must think they have police immunity to send lies into court with made-up titles. I doubt Cosgrove did it himself. No, that was probably Tully. I mean, they just named him that. Those aren't actually the names of the videos. That's what they named them on their files. New Turtle Rider sends $10 and goes, the judge you're hearing appeared stern and a bit scary at first. He was. But it was somewhat refreshing to see a judge that wasn't biased or unfair. He didn't grant an order just because the Commonwealth asked for it. I think your mom was watching over you today. I hope so. Thank you. Courtney sends $10 and goes, shout out to Bryce, my 14-year-old 8th grade nephew who's already 6'6". Doctors say he'll be close to 6'9". Ooh, that must be nice. He's just recruited for a D1 high school for next year. Fingers crossed for the NBA someday. Don't, study your books there, Bryce. Can't go all in on 6'9". They're a dime a dozen. Dime a dozen in college basketball. So thank you. Patio sends $25, goes, free Karen Reed, free Turtleboy. Can you wish my daughter Sammy and Maddie, twins, nice, a happy 21st birthday? You are the best. Well, if I assume they're drunker than I was at C.F. McCarthy's the other night, there's 21st birthday. I hope they are. But happy birthday to Maddie and Sammy. Hope you have a good one. Nick sends $10, goes, why do you have to see a different judge for every court appearance? Why isn't a single judge assigned to a case and sees it through trial? Seems so disjointed the way it's done there. Oh, you mean like Auntie Bev? Do judges just play tag? You're it when it comes to deciding motions, or does a single judge? Well, this was a different court. So this is district court. Normally I'm in superior court where I've been indicted. So it all depends on the jurisdiction. But even within a courthouse, you're right, you do get musical judges. They switch you around. Every few months, the judges rotate, except Auntie Bev, who gets to stay on Karen's Reed's case forever. Forever. From the Sandlot. Okay, thank you. Let me do some cash apps, then we'll get started on the video from today, because we got to talk about that. Okay. All right. Pina Rosa sends $15 and says, hope all goes well. Oh, she sent that earlier. Thank you, Pina Rosa. Thank you. Mama She sends $50 and goes, in the meantime, congrats on today. Well, thank you very much, Mama She. Jeff sends $10 and goes, why not show the video of Chris Albert saying he was going to smash you? Because it was not the right venue for that. We want to show that so much. It's just not. Today's was a hearing to dismiss the charges because there was no probable cause. So Chris Albert previously threatening to smash my face doesn't affect whether or not there was probable cause to charge me today. Because, you know, suppose he did. Suppose what he did was a crime against me, right? It doesn't change the fact that if I did it to him, it would still be witness intimidation, which I didn't. So thank you, Jeff. Sharon sends $5, goes, you need a free massage at Muscular Connections, WB. Okay, Sharon, maybe you can give me a massage. Thank you. Next up, but not like a Deshaun Watson massage or a Bob Kraft massage, just a regular one. Thank you. Laura sends $10 and goes, Appellate Attorney Schilling is also a Commonwealth attorney. What the fuck? Appellate Attorney Schilling. Oh, the guy that talked today, that goober today? Yeah, he is. That's right. Jordan sends $10, goes, so happy you're home. Show us your dick. That's funny. See, that's funny. That's good. Thank you for. I wasn't expecting that. So happy you're home. Show us your dick. Just Google it. It's enough of it out there. Thank you. Oh, you guys are funny. Okay. I don't know why I'm laughing so hard at that. No, I'm not doing it. I have enough problems, Erica. That's the last thing I need to do. This has already been released like 4 or 5 years ago. Just call Krusty. She's probably got a call. There's a guy named Mike Gaffney. He's probably got like hundreds of screenshots readily available of the Intimidator there. You'll be impressed, I promise. Okay. Next, Beverly sends $100, goes, I'm old. You remind me of my dad. Love you, Turtleboy. Well, thank you, Beverly. I'm glad I reminded you of your dad. He must have been a swell person. So thank you very much, Beverly. You're the best. Okay. I'm still laughing at that. Show us your dick. No. Okay. Mama She sends $50 and goes, seriously though, Dr. Daddy, so glad today went okay. You and I both, Mama She. Thank you. Lori sends $10 and goes, helping Turtleboy preach the truth. Appreciate that, Lori. Next up, we got Laura sends $10, goes, your rants are a turn on. You love your daddy. You guys are, Jesus Christ. What's going on here? Turtleboy After Dark. My rants are a turn on. Jeez Louise. I have to yell at you more often. Keep it in your pants. All right. Thank you. EMC sends $10, goes, can you cover court still? What about the 100 yards? As far as I know, I can. So thank you for that one. Yeah, this is turning I know. What's going on here, Lauren? What's happening? What are these turtle chats coming in here? Okay. Stephanie sends $20 and goes, corruption is awful. Thank you for all you do. There's semen everywhere. Thank you. Thank you, Stephanie. It's so true. Casey sends $5, goes, Doc, so you are a protected class too. Don't forget, I am. And I demand my victim witness advocate. I demand them. So thank you. Melanie sends $5 and goes, out on bail, out of jail is what I meant. Thank you, Melanie. Tracy sends $10 and goes, were fingerprints ever taken from John O'Keefe's phone? Oh, that's the one thing they did, Tracy. They didn't secure the crime scene or get ring footage or anything, but they got prints on John O'Keefe's phone. They did that for you. So just come on, Tracy. Come on. Stop it. Stop it. Tracy also sends $5 and goes, so happy for you. I watched episode 1 and 2. Tara is a psycho, a legit psycho, like a legit psychopath, like a scary woman. Her obsession with John O'Keefe, like she scares me more than all of them. She's nuts. Okay. All right, cool. So anybody else wants their messages read, you can click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat, or you can cash at me at $ Uncle Turtleboy. Hold on, I just gotta get a drink of water. Hold on. Time out. All right. All right, let's do this. So let's watch some of today's hearing, shall we? Court TV. You gotta see. This is. I did not realize that we were on camera when this part happens here. Right. I did not. I look over and I'm like sitting right there. Karen came over and said hello, and I think she was talking to me about my hearing today. She's like, "Do you have your hearing today?" And I'm like, "Yeah, definitely." There. And then I forget what we said here, but it was something. She said something funny, and I started cracking up. I'm like, that's funny shit. You guys have pretty good attitude considering all that. This is a nice little moment here, no? Like, I don't know what the fuck. Whatever it was funny. I think we're laughing at someone. Who the fuck knows? But you know that like Spanky's like this. See, Your Honor, that's witness intimidation. They would anytime they see her and I speaking at all, it's witness intimidation. But I mean, this is why this is like Karen Reed 2.0. She doesn't give a fuck anymore. She's going on using her real name on Facebook. She's not afraid to be seen talking to me in public. Like this wouldn't have happened a year ago at this time at all. So.
Like over there.
We have a lot to cover, but
So
what
she
I'm
came out
going to
roll
start
today. This
with
part, ready?
is
Oh my God. I gotta speed this up.
a decision on the Commonwealth's motion to exclude employees of ARCA. So I think I told counsel before that I had reviewed. So first we had full hearing from counsel. I heard from the lawyers. I heard from Mr. 𝗫𝗏𝗂 on behalf of the lawyers. I've read the transcripts. I've listened to the sidebar conference and read that transcript. And I've certainly read the pleadings. So based on all the evidence, I conclude that there has not been the candor required of all lawyers has not been demonstrated here. I find that there have been repeated misrepresentations made to the court by defense counsel, and I conclude that they were deliberate concerning the relationship with the ARCA witnesses. They were made at sidebar, in open court, and in pleadings. And I think the record is pretty clear, and I find that on July 25th, 2024, payment was made to the ARCA witnesses. Yet on February 26, 2025, in a pleading written by Ms. Little, signed by all three defense counsel, says the Commonwealth's motion to exclude these exculpatory expert witnesses, ARCA witnesses, who were not hired or paid for by the defense, is not made in good faith and is a desperate and transparent attempt to keep exculpatory testimony of neutral expert witnesses from reaching the jury in this case. The next page. Ironically, the Commonwealth accuses the defendant of failing to comply with her discovery obligations while conceding that the information is not in her care, custody, or control. Moreover, here, the defense has gone above and beyond its reciprocal discovery obligations and has already satisfied all of its mandatory discovery obligations under Rule 14 and turned over all additional information in the control and custody of the defense relating to the ARCA witnesses as ordered by the court. So I find or conclude that that was a material misrepresentation.
Fucking cunt.
And
Oh.
that it was deliberate. So I find that there is a flagrant violation of the rule.
I mean, flagrant, she says. Flagrant. Like it's this it's just, you guys so like, it's just fucking maddening. You understand how maddening this is that listen to this? And I've been following this for 2 years, and all the Commonwealth does is lie and flagrantly lying about Brian Albert's dog never biting anyone. Remember when Greg Henning got up there and said that? Yeah, that was pretty flagrant. Or that Michael Proctor doesn't know any of the witnesses in this case. Yeah, that was a pretty flagrant lie. Everything's a lie with these people. And the 𝗬𝗵𝗺 video, I mean, the fact that this critical evidence for a defendant is not given to her, is hidden from her for 3 years and given in piecemeal. And she's just not even the least bit disturbed by any of that at all. At all. But this, she can't get over.
14 obligations. And before I decide which sanctions are appropriate.
And then before I decide which sanctions are appropriate. So a lot of people saw this like, oh, fuck, they're in trouble. I mean, you heard this tone, like, what's she going to do? And I knew what she was going to do. Nothing. Because, again, people don't understand Auntie Bev like I understand Auntie Bev. Auntie Bev is a lot of things. She's a cunt. She's a horrible person. She's evil. All this shit. But more than anything, her biggest personality trait, the most dominant trait she has, is that she is a gutless coward. Okay? And like, gutless cowards do not make bold decisions at all. Like, it would have been a bold decision to grant the Rule 17 motion for Brian Albert's phone, right? That would have been a bold decision, like a bold, like whatever. But that goes both ways. Like, she's not going to kick Alan Jackson off of the case. That's too bold for her, man. I know this chick. She's the type of woman who gets up there and just wants to lecture you and remind you it's her fucking courtroom. But again, this is a woman who can't control her own courtroom, who has people go on the Zoom and say, fuck off, Beverly. And she keeps the Zoom on and says, free Billy Tibbetts. Okay, that's who she is. So she wanted to get up here and just dress down the defense and remind Alan Jackson, who's got the biggest dick in this courtroom. And ultimately, at the end of the day, she was going to do nothing to him. And ultimately, that's what she did. Like, nothing came out of this at all, except the ARCA experts are in.
Yeah. I need to see defense counsel and Ms. Reed at sidebar. I'm going to ask that the Commonwealth remain where they are. I'm going to seal this sidebar, but I need to have a colloquy with Ms. Reed before I figure out exactly what I'm going to do here. So
this was wild. So she invites Karen up there. I've never seen this before. And she has the conversation with Karen. I heard her say, am I even allowed to talk about this? I mean, I heard her ask her how old she is, if she was sober, like all this shit. Like, she's obviously going through it. And it was very clear that she was asking her, do you want to retain counsel? Like, she was giving her a chance to fire Alan Jackson, right? So that way, if God forbid she's convicted, I'm pretty sure she can no longer claim ineffective counsel at this point, right? I think that's the whole purpose of this right here. That's what she did this for, is that so Karen Reed could not claim ineffective counsel, which she would never do anyway. I mean, like, Alan Jackson's not going anywhere. And I assume Alan Jackson didn't talk to the media afterwards because they have a fucking gag on him now. Like, you know. And the faces that Peggy O'Keefe was making today when Alan Jackson was talking were so rude and inappropriate, laughing whenever he would say that Karen Reed is not colluding with Aidan Kearney. She starts laughing, like, visibly, like, control yourself, you know.
with her lawyers. Ms. Colloquy, no greater constitutional right than all right. So there's no greater constitutional right than the defendant's right to a fair trial, including a fair and impartial jury, the right to present a defense and confront witnesses, and the right to counsel, which includes counsel of her choice. So I've just had a thorough colloquy with Ms. Reed. I believe it was extensive and thorough, and she has expressed to me a strong desire to continue with her lawyers.
A strong
Mr.
desire.
Jackson, lead counsel. I just want to make the record clear. Mr. Jackson, you lead counsel?
We don't define our roles in such a manner, Your Honor.
Okay, so because Mr. Yannetti is not pro 𝗵𝗵𝗂𝗺𝗍 counsel, Mr. Yannetti can try this case if need be by himself. All right. But Ms. Reed does have a strong desire to keep all of her lawyers, notwithstanding the Rule 14 violation and the apparent lack of candor, the findings and rulings I've made. So based on that, I am not going to revoke pro 𝗵𝗵𝗂𝗺𝗍 licenses. I don't expect to have to address this again. Candor with the court is essential. It's the bedrock obligation of all lawyers who appear in this court and all courts in Massachusetts. A lawyer is only as good as his or her word. And I need to be able to take counsel at their word. So
yes.
I'm not going to tolerate false statements, any stretching of the truth, no misleading distortions. There's no place for that in the courtroom. And Mr. Jackson, you stated this very eloquently in your closing argument last time. So Commonwealth, I am denying your motion to exclude the 𝗥𝗃 witnesses. Those witnesses can testify.
Awesome.
As long as counsel complies with their reciprocal discovery obligations. I will allow a full cross-examination, Mr. Brennan, and I will review any proposed curative instructions, limiting instructions, or final jury instructions.
I will allow, yeah, basically, like, don't worry, Spanky. I'm still going to hook you up, you know? Like, oh, so by the way, fuck you, Spanky. How'd that go? So you tried to keep out the 𝗪𝗃 people, they got in. You tried to keep out Richard Green, he got in. You tried to keep out Dr. Marie Russell, she got in. And guess what? Garrett Wing's going to get in. Mike Easter's going to get in. They're all going to get in. They're all going to get in. Because, again, she's a lot of things. But at the end of the day, her biggest quality is the most dominant trait that she has is being cowardly. She's a fucking coward. And she is not going to ban any of these people because they're all qualified, all of them. To my knowledge, she hasn't banned a single one of them, you know, from testifying. Why would she? They're all grossly overqualified, all of them. So it's going to be fucking awesome.
So that's my ruling on that. So we'll move on to Mr. 𝗪𝗍. You didn't have a chance last time on the motion to exclude the testimony of Dr. Wolf. So I'll hear you on that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So again, I kind of zoned out for this whole thing with Dr. Wolf. I'll sum it up real quick. They have their own Dr. Wolf, which could be, his name is Isaac Wolf. Dr. Isaac Wolf. He's a neurosurgeon from Miami. And I assume from the sound of it that he's going to testify that, I guess, he's their pathologist now, essentially. Like, he's their new medical examiner. I've heard rumors that they're not calling 𝗺𝗏𝗍𝗄. How wild is that? They went ME shopping. Like, you get one, you're the government. You get a free ME from the state. But, you know, Michael Proctor called her a whack job, and now we know why. Remember, they tried to manipulate her into saying things? She was a good witness for the defense. She said that it was possible that John O'Keefe could have been struck in the back of the head with a barbell or a fist or whatever. Okay. And so I believe, I don't know this is a fact, but I believe that they are not going to call 𝗺𝗏𝗍𝗂𝗧. They're calling this guy. This is their new medical examiner. They literally, this is what they do. They go shopping for experts. Ian Whiffen was not the first guy they found. They didn't find a guy in Calgary. He didn't come up on Google. Like, they didn't find him. They didn't 8 months later. They didn't find Jessica Hyde. They go shopping for experts until they find somebody that's going to say what they want him to say. Go ahead. Because guess what? We don't know. There's still 6 experts from the defense. We don't know because we haven't seen their witness list because Jim McDermott won't docket it. And the defense can absolutely call her. And the defense, if they want, can go out and get their own medical examiner. And I hope to God they did. I hope to God they did. And I hope that medical examiner has interesting things to say. Because there are videos of the autopsy, and the pathologist can watch the videos and look at it, and they can examine the various organs and everything from the autopsy and make their own determination. Like, I don't know, like cause of death. Cause of death. Start with that. What time did he die? Like, there's a lot that you can figure out from this. And 𝗬𝗿𝗄𝗍 kind of left the door open to anything could have happened. That was her basic take. You know, we'll see who they have. We'll see who, but it just shows how dirty they are that this guy, like they just go shopping for guys, you know? But I don't think it's going to work. So this is going to be a very different trial. This is going to be much more expert based. Like he was not the first trial. They didn't have experts. They had the Sullivan sluts. That's who they had the first trial. There no more Sullivan sluts, no more 𝗀𝗄𝗃𝗧𝗔. They weren't helpful. No more Allie McCabe, no more Nicholas Barros. Now we're gonna go get experts, and we're gonna get them to say what we want them to say. Okay, and then we're gonna try to discredit their experts. So I'm gonna skip over this whole part.
Internships. As a neurosurgeon, he engages in. His CV is attached. It's not that he's a renowned nerd.
Spanky, such a nerd. Look at him.
May I?
Please.
May I? May I? He says, may I?
Attorney 𝗏𝗏 mistakenly misstates.
And by the way, why doesn't Judge Bev correct him? Like, Hank, in this court, we don't ask for permission to talk. That's what she would do to 𝗏𝗏. She's always like, in this court, we don't need to do that. Yeah, go ahead. Of course you could talk. Little kiss ass. Can I go? Yeah, of course you could fucking go.
Dr. Wolf's credentials. Dr. Wolf is not a neurologist. He's a neurosurgeon.
He's not a neurologist. He's a neurosurgeon. I saw some tweet today. I can't verify this. It said like, it's basically the same thing. Like, so he just gets up there with this shit. He's a neurosurgeon. Okay, cool thing.
He's not simply a neurosurgeon. And it's not that he's a renowned neurosurgeon, but he has over 35 years of experience as a neurosurgeon. In addition to his opinion, you can see that Dr. Wolf has an extraordinary history of experience as a neurosurgeon. His CV is attached. In his internships as a neurosurgeon, he engages in an internship in pathology, neuropathology. We can see from his major research interests includes treatment of head injury, spinal cord injury. Dr. Wolf was the leader and director of the Miami Neuroscience Center for 17 years,
blah, blah,
1993, 2011, the busiest neuroscience center in the country. He has treated tens and thousands of patients with head injuries.
Okay.
Surgeries.
Head injuries.
His professional memberships are too long to list. Page 3 of his resume.
Well, head injuries. Okay, because John was hit in the head. Okay, cool. So what's he going to say? So he knows the difference between if a head is hit by grass or by a blunt object. What's he going to say? You know?
His research is broad and precise and specific to head injuries. We can see in his research listed on page 4, he's a principal investigator in dam treatment of brain tissue, acidosis in severely injured patients, principal investigator, PEG-SOD in severe head injury.
Okay.
Benign neurosurgical management of traumatic brain injury,
Yeah, he's
what
awesome.
the injury is, and an attempt to save the person's life. And so he's well attuned after tens of thousands of surgeries to understand the causation of a brain injury and what causes death. Looking at Dr. Wolf's report, although short, it is clear that the injury that was occurred by Mr. O'Keefe was an injury known as countercoup. And I dare say the defense proposed expert, Dr. 𝗏𝗏 is not in disagreement with that. To understand countercoup, it occurs from a fall backwards on the ground. It can't
fall
occur
backwards?
From a bat or a punch or hit. There's not enough force. It occurs when the back of the head hits the ground and then the brain shifts to the front of the head. That is what the autopsy report show. It may be that the medical examiner for the
Okay, so it's like, so it's not from the back of the, okay, fine. So he fell backwards and hit his head on a fucking stair or hit his back on a fucking barbell. I agree. There's no evidence that somebody came up and smashed him in the back of the head. Fine. I think it's much more likely that that gash in the back of his head came from, sure, being pushed down. He fell down and he fucking hit his head on a stair or something. I don't fucking know. A barbell. Who knows? Not fucking grass, though. Grass didn't do that shit. So you're going to bring in a neurosurgeon, and what's he going to ultimately? Okay, fine. Suppose he says that. Who cares? The defense's theory still is just as strong as it was prior to this guy. So good job, I guess.
Well, didn't have the same level of experience and didn't diagnose it. But this expert does have that expertise. And it is no different than the pathologist that's proffered by the defense. The periorbital ecchymosis that is directly related to the basal fracture, the swelling around the eyes, no different in Dr. 𝗵𝗂𝗧𝗂's opinion, exactly the same. One thing he doesn't say is that the body was moved. There was no evidence or information for that. He doesn't extend himself as a detective or put in unplausible theories in his proposed testimony. He is intimately familiar with 𝗕𝗿𝗄𝗃, having treated tens of thousands of patients.
Okay.
B, that his ultimate conclusions of 𝗕𝗿𝗄𝗃 and ecchymosis, periorbital ecchymosis is.
He's such a nerd.
Your Honor, I'm going to note what Attorney Brennan did not state. He did not address at all how the methodology, to the extent it's discernible of Dr. Wolf, is commonly accepted or it satisfies any of the 𝗕𝗿𝗄𝗃 factors.
Okay.
It takes into account all the circumstances surrounding it, the crime investigation. That's what medical examiners and forensic pathologists are qualified to do. Attorney Brennan cited that in his CV, there's a reference to an internship in pathology. I looked, I didn't see it, but let's assume that it exists. Let's assume he has an intern.
All right.
It is.
I get with this doctor. I don't want to spend too much time on this guy because I got news for you. He's getting in. Because again, Auntie Bev is a lot of things, but bold is not one of them. She is gutless. She doesn't have the balls to say no to Hank Brennan, his expert. So this guy's going to get in. So all this arguing back and forth, it's like, yeah, I get it, but he's getting in. I hate the, he's getting
obvious. It is obvious that the neurosurgeon would understand and appreciate why his patients are dying.
Next one.
Motion to present the demonstrative exhibit on Christina Hanley's testimony. It's paper 558. Is there an objection from the Commonwealth on this?
There is an objection.
All right, so I'll hear.
Be used as a chalk and an exhibit that's introduced. I'll take the chalk if the court wants to break it into two different pillars.
Again, and this is another one I don't care that much about the chalk. I didn't spend too much time on that. If they're allowed to use chalks, if they're not allowed to use chalks, I think she'll allow them to use chalks, which are just visuals. Whatever. So
but we believe that once the witness, and I anticipate based on her prior testimony that she would adopt it one more time for its authenticity or its accuracy.
Brennan.
Defendant suggests that Mr. O'Keefe took her vodka soda glass out of her car. Now,
Brennan.
All right, here we go.
This witness has a report, and a report is not admissible and can't be shown to the jury. And so to have the defense summarize her testimony when she's not allowed to put her report in herself seems a bit imbalanced. There are references on this potential chalk that lists troopers' names. Those names shouldn't be on there, but also it doesn't give the full picture of the actual testimony. The issue regarding glass, I expect, is going to be a issue in the next case, and I say that because we learned last night for the first time on a public hearing of an episode that the defendant suggests that Mr. O'Keefe took her vodka soda glass out of her car. Now, that is the first time we've had any statements from Ms. Reed suggesting that, and also there was another statement regarding a claim that Ms. Reed pulled glass from John O'Keefe's face. Never heard that before. So we have this evolving or new testimony, or statement rather, statements about glass. And so I think first, I'd like to consider this new information that we just learned last night. And secondly, I am reluctant to agree to a simple summary of part of the witness's testimony that has not only labels on it, but does not, from my perspective, clarify anything. I'm not opposed to chalks. I think chalks are helpful for both sides. And I think the liberal use of chalks is helpful. But I don't have confidence this chalk accurately summarizes the witness's testimony. I'm open to discussing chalks with the defense and perhaps learning why they think this is helpful or important, but looking at this chalk does not look clear to me. And I do think that the evolving nature of glass in this case is going to be an issue. And since I've just learned this information, I want to give it some thought.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Jackson, what I'm going to do is just hold off and see where the evidence is, what the two of you talk about. Maybe there's some agreement you can come up with regarding this. I need to hear more of the evidence. And I'm going to read the transcript, so that will help me with this.
Makes sense. Mr. Brennan indicates that the chalk was not helpful to him.
Before she testifies or something, as I have is defendant's motion to exclude irrelevant, inadmissible, and prejudicial prior bad character and propensity evidence. The Commonwealth has a sort of maybe a similar one that I'm not sure. The Commonwealth's motion eliminate to admit the victim's out-of-court statement relating to a state of mind. So the Commonwealth's Binns and Qualls motion. Does that address the Aruba witnesses? I'm just wondering if they're hand in hand. So the paper number on the Commonwealth is, let's just say the Aruba as well.
This does not.
Okay. The victim's state of mind as it goes to the defendant's knowledge and ability, likelihood to act on that state of mind.
The defendant.
So I just want.
I didn't mean to interrupt, Mr. Brennan. Do you want to?
I just want to know if that is part of the Aruba one.
Okay.
So our statements relating to Mr. O'Keefe's state of mind is broad. It would have included the Aruba, but I can make quick work of this. We do not intend to introduce evidence about the Aruba event.
Okay.
I reserve the right if the defense opens the door, then we may proceed with it. But in our case in chief, we don't intend to introduce any evidence from the Aruba event.
Okay. There we go. All right. All right. So, Mr. Brennan, you can have a seat again. And we'll go through the defendant's one. That's very helpful. So I will endorse it as Commonwealth.
I mean, I was actually, you see my reaction to that. I'm like, whoa, that was interesting.
Not intend to.
We don't intend to introduce any evidence from the Aruba event.
Okay.
I'm like, whoa, that's spicy. That's interesting. We don't intend on introducing any evidence from the Aruba event. Okay. Cool. Don't waste any, because that didn't work last time. So fine.
All right. All right. So, Mr. Brennan, you can have a seat again. We'll go through the defendant's one. That's very helpful. So I will endorse it as Commonwealth does not intend to introduce in its case in chief. Argue this for the defendant.
Your Honor, the defense is requesting that it exercise its broad discretionary powers to allow a view under Massachusetts General Law 234A.
So I'll allow a view.
Okay.
Okay, but let's talk about your client attending it.
Okay, so this
Commonwealth's
is
motion for sequestration
viewing the car sequestration
that moves to exempt family members at the same time. So who's arguing? 562. Did I say 4? Sorry. 562 and 576. So
Criminal Procedure 21. The defense respectfully requests that this court issue an order for sequestration in keeping with what the Commonwealth also
Here we
requested.
go. This is good.
But additionally, excluding Brian Higgins and members
Nice.
of the Albert and McCabe families after they testify.
So do you mean after the evidence is closed?
I mean, after they've taken the stand.
So after they've taken the stand, but so witnesses are sequestered not to influence any testimony. So once the evidence is closed, just before closing arguments, are you saying they should not be permitted to come into the court for closing arguments?
Yes.
Focus on that part of your motion.
Yes, Your Honor. We're asking that they not be able to attend closing arguments, and this is why. As the court likely recalls, at the first trial, members of the Albert and McCabe families continued to attend court after their testimony. During closing arguments, Colin Albert, Ryan Albert, and Jennifer McCabe were all seated in the jury box with the O'Keefe family. At least one juror who was seated in this case indicated to a reporter at Vanity Fair that she felt intimidated by their presence at closing arguments.
It was actually two jurors. So the one that spoke with Vanity Fair and Ronnie, they both said they felt intimidated by their presence. That should matter. Come on, Auntie Bev is so worried about like intimidation and witness. And now you have who's more important than jurors? If they're intimidated, like who is more important than them? We should be listening to them, right? That one juror, the foreman, writes that whole affidavit about how he's scared, and then we get a fucking 5,000 foot buffer zone. Is that they want that? It's like ridiculous.
Your Honor, a sitting juror reporting feeling intimidated by the presence of third-party culprits towards the close of the case is highly concerning.
Was this a deliberating juror?
Was this?
I don't know. He or she was anonymous.
Okay.
Like that whole thing. Was this a deliberating juror? It's almost as if Auntie Bev knows it's not. I mean, I'm guessing. Like, why else would she ask that? What a weird question to ask. Was it a deliberating juror? Like she asks, like she only asks the way she asks questions like that if she's going somewhere with it. But no, exactly. Does it matter? Right. If it was one of the alternates, would that matter? They were still intimidated. It's like, what? Why is she going out of her way to make excuses? Well, they didn't deliberate. Then what does it matter? It's like, I don't know. And Ronnie was absolutely.
And Your Honor, that was by design. There is information that the Massachusetts State Police and the District Attorney's Office wanted to have the third-party culprits seated there during closing arguments.
Whoa. That's bombshell.
That was by design. There is information that the Massachusetts State Police and the District Attorney's Office wanted to have the third-party culprits seated there.
There is information that the Massachusetts State Police and the District Attorney's Office wanted them sitting there. That's new. How would she know that? How would she know that the state police and the DA's office wanted them there? How? Well, as you saw in Spanky's motion, they got a bunch of new texts in discovery that he wants under a protective order. And as we've seen with these other texts, a lot of them involve the state police and the district attorney's offices and Steve Nelson. So what in those text messages suggested that the state police want them there? That is huge. And that's going to come, bro, this trial, I have shit in protective orders that I can't talk about. You're going to see some shit this second trial. I can promise you that. When you thought the fuckery couldn't get even worse, dude, wait for it. Wait for it, dude. There's so much shit I can't say. Just wait for it. It's coming.
During closing arguments. And so on that basis, the defense is requesting, in order to protect there from being any sort of undue influence or intimidation, or even just the potential that a juror might feel that way, as we know at least one did in this case, we're asking that they be sequestered after their testimony and during closing arguments.
What's your position on the Commonwealth's motion to exclude the family members of both the defendant and the victim?
I believe that the sequestration order, yes, we join in that request.
Okay.
Yeah,
the only exception I would note is that experts should be able to obviously watch other expert testimony that deals with their.
All right, so obviously is not something that should be in a motion. Okay?
Obviously.
If you've got an agreement that each other's experts can be in the courtroom during the testimony, that's one thing, but it's not obvious that they're permitted. Okay.
I just wanted to make sure that that would be excluded from the order that the Commonwealth proposed. Because the way that they wrote it says all witnesses. And I'm guessing that, I don't want to speak for Mr. Brennan, but I'm guessing that they will want their experts to watch our experts and vice versa.
All right, so you all need to talk. All right, and if there's a disagreement, you need to put it in writing. Generally, experts are permitted, but it's not a given. Okay. All right, Mr. Brennan, do you want to weigh in on people being able to? I'm concerned about after the evidence is closed.
I think it's unfortunate that not only a time-honored tradition, but an entitlement for a witness after the evidence is closed to come into the closing and watch the closing.
This dude really just said that it is a time-honored tradition for people like the McAlberts to come into court and stare down the jury. That's like, listen to this.
I think it's unfortunate that not only a time-honored tradition, but an entitlement for a witness after the evidence is closed to come into the
like, what is this? The Masters? A tradition like none other? This is a tradition like what? A time-honored tradition. What fuckery are we talking about now? What case have you ever seen the witnesses come in and sit with the goddamn family during the rest of the trial? What the fuck is this guy talking about? He just makes shit up.
Closing and watch the closing. The defense tries to take an opportunity to provide an unsolicited bashing on their targets. They name Higgins, Albert, they invoke those names, they characterize third-party culprit, and they suggest that some anonymous person was uncomfortable. It seems as though the presentation has a deliberate point.
By the way, as some anonymous person was uncomfortable, he's just brushing it off. Like, I thought that was a big concern, Spanky, witness intimidation and whatnot. I thought that was a big concern, but I guess some anonymous person says it, just a juror.
But doesn't have any sense of balance or fairness whatsoever. Witnesses, all witnesses from either side should be able to come into a courtroom after the evidence is closed, the sequestration order has ended, and watch a closing. Grace can be offered in these circumstances sometimes, and that's what I've tried to do in my motion. Ms. Reed has 3 potential family members who are potential witnesses for the government.
Oh, great.
And certainly, I would have a right to try to ask the court or insist that they should be sequestered.
He's so
But I
graceful.
specifically asked that they not be sequestered.
Oh,
That accused has a
he's so
strong
merciful.
need
He's so
to have
merciful.
family support in the courtroom. It's not in the benefit of the government or the Commonwealth, but it's fair. It's
He's
just.
he's so just. He's so
graceful.
fair.
And I think that
He's
Ms.
so
Reed's family should
graceful.
sit through the court testimony,
Fuck
even if they're
this
called the
guy.
witnesses, as should Mr. O'Keefe's immediate family. The idea that witnesses should not come in after a evidence rest and during a closing, not only does it seem quite unfair, it doesn't seem to have any basis in law, in justness, in courtesy. And so I actually deny the idea that these targets of the defense should not be able to attend the closing. But I do actually endorse my motion that would allow family members to have the benefit to sit through the court proceedings, even if they may or even if they do become witnesses.
Targets of the defense. Side by side by
A closer
side
look at
by.
both of these and have something to prohibit testimony regarding funds paid to experts for purposes of voir dire.
That's awesome on your end.
Okay.
We would maintain a categorical list of topics that is in line with the statute, previous experiences with the criminal legal system, characteristics of the case, including media attention, things of that nature, biases in favor of law enforcement or vice versa, personal beliefs about driving under the influence. We think that's attendant to this particular case in particular, involvement in any relationships involving domestic violence, involvement in motor vehicle crashes, those categorical issues, whether they've ever been victims of violent
This
crime.
is about juror voir dire, okay? And so again, we all kind of agree on this stuff. I don't want to spend too much time on that.
Defendant's motion for order prohibiting the Commonwealth and its agents from speaking with or having contact with any witnesses once they've taken the stand. So, is there an objection to that, Mr. Brennan?
There's not. I believe that rule should apply to both sides. I have no objection.
Okay. Mr. Jackson, do you agree it applies to both sides? Ms. Little?
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so that, Mr. Clerk, 567 allowed as to both sides. $570, defendant's motion eliminate to exclude irrelevant, inadmissible, and prejudicial evidence regarding alleged harassment and or intimidation of witnesses. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. The first trial, I'll note, was riddled with what we believe to be inadmissible and highly, highly prejudicial testimony from a bunch of witnesses who took the opportunity to describe harassment and distress that they felt from third parties, both on social media and otherwise. No third party, including any blogger, any social media personality, any member of the public, no third party speaks for Ms. Reed. No third party speaks for the defense, No third party acts on behalf of Ms. Reed, is directed by Ms. Reed or the defense, or is under Ms. Reed or the defense's control. None.
Can I, if Alan Jackson's watching, can I make a request, sir? I'm not a blogger. I'm a journalist. I'm a journalist. Blogging days over. Blogging is a derogatory term that they use to characterize me as. I'm not a blogger. I am a journalist. I know he meant well by this, but I just want to, for the record, if they're watching, I prefer being called a journalist.
There were very obviously vile acts that were described during the course of the first trial in these witnesses' testimony, to the extent that they did occur.
To the extent that they did occur. So like people are saying like, oh, Alan Jackson called you vile today. No, he's like, yeah, there's a lot of things that the witnesses claim happened. To the extent that they did occur, if they occurred, these are bad. That's what he's saying there. You know, if what we agree, it's vile if people are sending her pictures of kid semen on her face. But as I showed you tonight, that's not what happened. It's a fucking lie. It is a lie. That never happened.
They are obviously in no way condoned by the defense, by Ms. Reed, or anybody connected with the defense in this case. And they're in no way connected to Ms. Reed or the defense. And notwithstanding that, the witnesses strongly suggested that Ms. Reed and the defense itself were somehow responsible for these alleged and very reprehensible things that they were describing. In one notable instance, Jennifer McCabe recounted being harassed by a blogger. She didn't name the blogger, but she said, quote, "The defense is very familiar with this person," end quote. That was her trial testimony. And she looked right at the jurors when she said it. The very obvious overture was, you know who this is, Mr. Jackson. I was the one cross-examining her, and you're responsible for it. In some way, shape, form, or fashion, she outright suggested to the jury that Ms. Reed and the defense were responsible for the acts that she went on to describe in great detail, in which we agree, if they occurred, are vile, reprehensible, unacceptable.
If they occurred. And again, the stuff that Jennifer McCabe was claiming wasn't even from me. She said Turtleboy didn't do it. His mob has done it. That's what she claims. That's the whole thing. They can't ever come up with anything I did to Jennifer McCabe that like, oh, that like, Aidan Kearney put fucking cum on her face. Like whatever. Like, you know, they wish. No, that never happened. Ever. So she blames it on my followers, which is always the cop-out. Complete bullshit, and she's got nothing. So like Alan Jackson did, you know, he made it clear, like to the extent that it occurred. If that occurred, it's bad. We're not saying it occurred though, you know, but we have nothing to do with it if it did.
There are clearly, as we all know now, there are clearly people out there who are very deeply concerned about what they consider, the others consider an unjust prosecution of an innocent person for a crime that she did not commit. There is an enormous amount of emotion injected throughout the community, this community and beyond, and we don't control that. And if people have suffered as a result of that, Ms. Reed, very specifically, should not be the one to have to bear that burden, and she did in the first trial. Those individuals out there who are emotional about the case, who are a proponent of one side or the other, they speak for themselves, they act for themselves, they act on their own accord. They certainly don't act at the direction of the defense or of Ms. Reed. And to allow these sort of what ultimately can only be described as salacious anecdotes into evidence, coupled with the sobbing and the crying and the breaking down on the witness stand, which also happened, it serves to visit an extreme and an extraordinary prejudice against Ms. Reed.
Look at Peggy. Look at Peggy O'Keefe.
Like a laser on her.
No, you look at that. Did you see that? Look at that little reaction she had there. Look at that reaction she had.
That's and the crying and the breaking down on the witness stand, which also happened. It serves to visit an extreme and an extraordinary prejudice against Ms. Reed, very, very specifically and very targeted like a laser on her. And it's
on her.
Completely out of her
control.
control.
Yeah, she's like, it is her fault. Like she's blaming it on Karen. Like she blames all of this shit on Karen because she's Jennifer McCabe's bitch. That's what Peggy O'Keefe is.
Completely unassociated with her. What may be most galling about the Commonwealth's presentation of this evidence in the first trial of witness intimidation was that they were in possession. They actually knew. Mr. Lally, Ms. McLaughlin, they knew at the time the information was presented and propounded in front of the jury that a grand jury had been impaneled to hear evidence on whether or not Ms. Reed was in any way liable for witness intimidation, witness harassment, or anything associated with that.
So the grand jury has a particular standard, right? Not any way, right? A low cost standard, right? Okay.
Oh my God. Like this corrections. So he brings up a very valid point. The grand jury investigated or heard a presentation about whether or not Karen Reed conspired to commit felony witness intimidation with Turtleboy. They had no idea this grand jury was even going on. We had to alert them of this. I told them this at the trial 3 months later. They had no idea a grand jury happened and that Karen Reed was probably this close to being incarcerated during the trial. She would have had her bail revoked during the trial if she was charged with conspiracy. And we know that the bar for probable cause is very low. And listen to this.
But had been impaneled to hear evidence on whether or not Ms. Reed was in any way liable for witness intimidation, witness harassment, or anything associated with that.
So the grand jury has a particular standard, right? Not any way, right?
Yeah, they have a very particular standard. It's called probable cause. It's extremely low. It's so low that you can get charged with felony witness intimidation if you look in a fucking camera. That's how low the bar for probable cause is. They couldn't get that. A one-sided presentation only from the Commonwealth. No evidence is given from the other side, and they couldn't get half of a grand jury to say, yeah, there's probable cause here. And this cunt chimes in with, well, that's not how it works. That's actually not how it's actually a fucking very hard. That's what the impression she's giving here, that it's actually really hard to get charges of conspiracy because the bar is really high. Actually, it's not that, low, Mr. Jackson. It's a little higher than you're saying. She always has to throw that in there. Always. She can't help herself.
A low cost standard, right? Okay.
But notwithstanding that standard, the question was she in any way liable for that
And
harassment?
they're nodding.
And that
She's nodding.
standard is extremely low. We all know the ham sandwich anecdote. And even the grand jury said, no, there is absolutely nothing to see here. There's no evidence that she was responsible for intimidation or harassment such that they determined that there was a no bill. And what is bothersome is that the Commonwealth was aware of that and didn't disclose it. We didn't find out about that until in October. I think it was in October, notice of discovery, when we finally found out that a no bill was issued indicating that Ms. Reed.
When was that no bill issue?
You said when or where? When? I want to say March 23rd.
27th
is what I'm being told. It was late March, before the first trial. And they knew this, and they didn't provide what I believe, and I think what the court would have ruled would be exculpatory information to us to cross-examine these witnesses who say, hey, look, I've suffered at the hands of the community of these bloggers.
So my memory is I kept it out, and then I have a very clear memory of you opening the door.
Yeah, right. Bullshit.
So, the court did make that ruling, that ultimately if the door is open.
First of all, the door was opened. First of all, both parties asked that it not be brought in. She ignored them and it's fair game if the door is open. The door was open not during Jennifer McCabe's testimony, but during Allie McCabe's testimony when she fake cried, when she got caught in a lie about the Life 360 data, and she started crying about it. They opened the door themselves. Not like they do this whenever they're caught lying. They just bring out, witness intimidation. That's not opening the door. No door was opened.
These witnesses are going to be able to talk about it.
But I kept it out prior to that.
Understood.
Okay.
I don't want to revisit that issue. The court made its ruling. I didn't think that we had opened the door. It was whatever that door was. It was on some very, very significant lubricant. It was going to be very easy.
Read the transcript.
I have several times. In any event, I believe that the court should make the exact same order this time and have a more defined. We should have a more defined understanding of what would reasonably open that door. I didn't think that I came anywhere close to it. The court disagreed, and the information came in. But it's so prejudicial. It was so extremely prejudicial as to this read that I think we need to revisit that issue and get a more clarifying order about exactly what would be required to open that door. And then we can reasonably, as the defense, we can reasonably sidestep that as best we can. I wasn't able to do that in the first trial because I didn't think that I had even approached the line, but ultimately the court disagreed. So what we're asking in this instance is that we get a clarifying order that it is not admissible. Obviously, if we walk in and say something about witness intimidation, you've never been intimidated by anybody, have you? Obviously, that would open the door. That's not what happened. That's not what happened last time. What happened last time was Jennifer McCabe basically decided that she wanted to talk about that issue and sort of walked through it.
Exactly.
At least in my view, having reviewed the transcript.
Exactly. That is exactly what happened. She wanted to talk about
understands what our concern is with regard to this subject matter. We don't want a free-for-all of people, one person after another walking into court and basically lambasting the defense for all intents and purposes about things that are completely out of our control. Even if there is some suffering by the public or by bloggers or by whomever that these witnesses have had to undergo, that is not at the hands of the defense, and we shouldn't have to, Ms. Reed very specifically, should not have to suffer through that testimony when it looks very, very clear that at least the Commonwealth wants the jurors to believe this is all at the hands of Ms. Reed, that she's been the one engaging in this, which is what the defense has, which is just not true. So we would ask for a clarifying order on that issue very specifically.
Mr. Brennan.
Yep. So again, that's not throwing me under the bus at all. That's like he's saying if it's true, if this is true, which we don't concede at all, it's not her fault. Don't take it out on her. She had nothing to do with it. It's not throwing me under the bus. It's protecting your client. That's it. Alan Jackson is not my attorney. He does not represent me. I have two great attorneys that do that for me, and they will.
I can appreciate the defense wanting to identify the line in which they would open the door to evidence about harassment and abuse of witnesses. I understand why that would be important. But to convert that into a speech that absolutely defies reality and grossly misstates the history and facts of this case is beyond me. Is beyond me. It wasn't just last night when Attorney Jackson and his colleagues appeared on a documentary where Ms. Reed talked about speaking frequently to Mr. Kearney, sharing anything public with him.
So what?
And you would have to choose to be oblivious.
So awkward, this whole thing.
That information that is shared was then not generated to intimidate and harass witnesses for 2 years.
You'd have to be oblivious to think that whatever Karen Reed and I talked about was how to intimidate witnesses. That's what he's saying. You'd have to be fucking foolish to assume that. You have no fucking evidence, Spanky, that we ever talked about that. As if the dastardly Karen Reed and I get on the goddamn phone and they're like, yeah, hey, you want to intimidate some witnesses? Yeah, you should go and do this to them, intimidate them this way. Like, fucking, or perhaps I'm just fascinated by this story, fascinated by it and the corruption, and I want to dig into it, and I have access to the defendant, who every other journalist is jealous about, that they wish that they had access to the defendant. Ted Daniel got an interview with her. He took her up on her, didn't it? Like, of course I'm going to fucking do that. Of course I'm going to do that. We talked about the case all the time. All the time. She talked about it on the show last night. Karen and I used to talk all the time. Always about the case. Always. Always about just like, what, and I'd always have questions for her. And like, I'd be fascinated by it. And sometimes I wouldn't want to hang up the phone because the conversations were so fascinating. And not once do we ever talk about witness intimidation. That never came up, ever. We never discussed it. She didn't get involved in all the shit, the theatrics that I did. I'm sure she found it amusing. Because why the fuck wouldn't she? That shit was fucking awesome. Imagine watching the people framing you for murder getting called out and being protested, how good that probably feels. I'm sure it felt good. It was my pleasure to do it because it was the right thing to do. And it's not a fucking crime. And I'm going to beat these charges. But Karen Reed had nothing to do with any of my actions. Nothing. And they have no evidence. All they have is the existence of phone calls and the admittance that we spoke. That's it. That's it.
In fact, Mr. Kearney has over a dozen indictments for just that.
Oh, there it is.
You've had an opportunity to hear the conversations recorded with Gretchen Vatz. You've heard about the tactics used by the defense in the dissemination, not just of public information. So to try to make a public record that is so grossly, not only inept, but fraudulent. I don't understand the purpose of that when the simple question is, what is the threshold of opening a door?
Fuck you.
We have a motion later this afternoon in another courtroom.
Oh, he brings this up.
Very issue.
We have isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? We have a motion later this afternoon on this very issue. How did he know that there was going to be a motion to revoke my bail? And we didn't know about that. Listen to what he says here. That's interesting.
But fraudulent. I don't understand the purpose of that when the simple question is, what is the threshold of opening a door? We have a motion later this afternoon in another courtroom.
We have a motion. We have a motion this afternoon in another court. Who's the fuck is we? We have a motion. That's interesting. Because we, meaning my legal defense team, we didn't know about any motions. We were told this was a simple arraignment and we were in and out. We weren't told there was any motions. And as a matter of fact, we were told the opposite. But yet you seem to know that you and Cosgrove have filed some sort of motion to revoke my bail because it is in your interest, Spanky, to have me in jail for the Karen Reed trial. That's who we is. You, Morrissey, Cosgrove, all you motherfuckers. Tully, that's who we is. He got caught there. He gave himself away, didn't he?
On this very issue. And I'm not going to go through an entire resuscitation of the evidence or information that I have because that inevitably would be unfair. But it is unfair to stand up here at this podium and suggest for a second that Ms. McCabe is using a witness box as some type of forum. She didn't drag herself into this case. She was dragged into it. And to suggest they can stand here and bash
Jennifer McCabe was dragged into this case. Like this whole Jennifer McCabe is a victim here. Is just saying she was dragged into this. Really? I don't think she was, Spanky, as we're going to see. And as you know, Spanky, and I know, but the public does. You'll see. We'll see. I think Jennifer McCabe's a little, and I think you know that, Spanky. I think this is a material misrepresentation that you're making on the court right now. I think that Jennifer McCabe was a little bit more involved than you're getting credit. She didn't just get dragged into this. Oh, no. She jumped in. What was your nickname for her again? What'd you guys call her? Did she have a nickname? Did you guys give Jennifer McCabe a nickname? That's what I want to know, Spanky. I guess we'll find out. What your nickname for well, not yours, because you're new. You jumped into this. You inherited this mess. But we'll see. Jennifer McCabe, I will tell you right now, did not get dragged into anything. Jennifer McCabe jumped feet first into this. She sought out every police officer. She made sure she gave statements for fucking everyone. Everyone. Oh, these fucking people, they lie about just the gaslighting, the protection of people like Jennifer McCabe, who have talk about not only suspicious behavior, but criminal. Google searches, deleting phone calls, and oh boy, there's more shit in their phone. Oh, I bet you there's more shit. Wouldn't that be crazy if the defense missed some shit in the first trial? Oh boy, that would be wild. I'm just saying.
This is
in
the text of their argument, unsolicited attacks, because it pleases them and fits their narrative. Is something I can't just sit by and listen to.
Oh, you can't sit by.
The Commonwealth, the prosecutors weren't outside patting their bloggers on the butt for a job well done. After witnesses harassed at the family event.
I just rolled my eyes at that one. Patting my butt. He's like bringing that up. David Yannetti gave me a little butt pat on the way into court one day. He's like, he's into troll shit. Like, this is like, he gets his fucking ideas from Twitter. Like, that's wild, dude.
That didn't happen. And so if the issue is, what is the threshold when Mr. Jackson opened the door? Well, you can read the transcript. It's very obvious. Open-ended questions, personal attacks, baseless accusations. That opens the door. And it will open the door again, I suspect. Yeah, we'll be prepared. I think the issue is really a trial issue, and an attorney having control of their questions so they don't open the door. That really is the issue.
So do you agree it doesn't come in the Commonwealth's case in chief with these witnesses?
I don't think it ever should have come in the case in chief, and I don't think it would have until I saw the very clear questions that opened that door. I have no intention of raising a collateral issue or trying to present prior bad acts that I haven't sought admissibility for. So I agree. I agree.
So that's wild. He agrees. We're not going to talk about witness intimidation. So why the fuck am I on the witness list then? I wasn't there in Canton on January 29, 2022. I had nothing to do with any of this shit. So what the fuck do you want to talk to me for if witness intimidation isn't on the table to talk about? Why the fuck am I on the witness list then? That's what I want to know.
Okay. Hey, Mr. Jackson.
I just wonder where this ire and these invectives from Mr. Brennan come from. He said that I stood up here just a second ago and attacked witnesses and bashed witnesses and made fraudulent statements. Was he listening? I didn't bash a witness. I didn't attack a
witness. Look at Peggy. Look at her.
I didn't make any fraudulent statements. The Commonwealth made their best effort to tether Miss Reed to Aidan Kearney.
It's awkward.
And they did it through a grand jury.
Also, Alan, please. Kearney. Aidan Kearney. Thank you very much.
And those members of the grand jury said, no, it's not true. It didn't happen. That's what they said at the lowest burden known in criminal justice. So Mr. Brennan can stand up all he wants and say, I saw a TV show and I saw this and I heard an interview, and clearly there's been communication between Ms. Reed and Mr. Kearney. Sure, there may have been communication. That's very different from directing witness intimidation, directing witness harassment for the purposes of undermining a prosecution. That's what they've accused her of, and they failed. And then they kept that from us when they failed and allowed this sort of fabrication of the witness. And I'm not saying that the intimidation that was described on the witness stand was fabricated. That's not at all what I'm saying. Maybe it was true. Maybe it all happened. What's fabricated is that it was connected to Ms. Reed or connected to us. So nobody's up here, Your Honor, and I take issue with Mr. Brennan's tone and tenor. We can all be professional. We can all advocate very zealously and robustly. But let's keep it professional. I didn't stand up here and attack a witness. Or what did he say? Bash witnesses? Use this as an opportunity to bash people? But we can calm the drama down just a little bit. And
calm the drama down.
All we're asking is that it not come in, and I will stipulate and agree with Mr. Brennan that this not come in the Commonwealth case in chief. And we will be very mindful of what would conceivably open a door to this kind of testimony. And I'll probably seek the court's guidance before I ask a specific question that I think comes anywhere close to that. We'll ask the court's guidance by coming to sidebar. And I think that can resolve the issue.
Okay, thank you. I look at corresponding conversion and corresponding retrograde.
Your Honor, I am intentional.
Retrograde extrapolation.
Okay. All right. So that's basically all the interesting shit that happened today. Then later on, I went to my hearing. Whew, and then dude, I still can't believe what happened today. Like, I'm still processing the fact that I'm here right now. And I'm just so fucking grateful. It feels so amazing, but I'm also like, I could have died. Like, you know what I mean? It's like it's like surviving a horrific car accident. Like, holy shit, you're so grateful to be alive, but you're like, holy fuck, that could have gone so wrong. Like, oh my fucking God, you know, like what I went through today, like, holy shit. And that was my morning. And then what I talked about earlier was my afternoon. Like, holy fucking shit, dude. Holy fucking shit. So, oh, my bed it is going to feel amazing tonight. Let me tell you that much. It is going to feel fucking awesome. Oh, awesome, dude. And, you know, I'm going to be, I'll be at court Thursday. Karen Reed's back in action again on Thursday. So I'll be there. More motions. And we have a motion on my lawyer. We're going to be arguing. So I'm going to be in court in the Karen Reed tape. Like, I don't know what's happening. Because the motion that he's filing, the Rule 17 motion for my phones, is going in front of dueling, which is not Beverly Cannoni's courtroom. So I don't know how. I don't know what's going to happen on Thursday. Thursday is going to be wild. So, you know, I like how the fucking camera's focused on me. Them, you know, I don't know. So, okay, cool. Let me read some turtle chats. It's holy shit. It's late, man. We got 5,300 people at 12:17. I love all you fucking people. I love you fine folks. Okay, let me refresh this, see what we got. Some turtle chats to end the night. Jessica sends $10. Goes, I just wanted to say I care about your mental health and I truly hope you're doing well. I watch your show religiously and have been through so many traumatizing events these past 2 years. I don't know how you power through. You deserve a nice long vacation after this is all over. I wish I had more. Stay strong. You are appreciated. Well, thank you, Jessica. You know, I want to go back to Truro is my getaway. I love it there. And honestly, I could use I had to see Hawaii. I've never been there. I've been to Alaska. I have not been to Hawaii, and I want to go to Hawaii. That's like where I want to go on a vacation to, because it's a state. It's pretty cool. You know, it's a state. The fact that it's a state is pretty cool because, you know, any other, like if you want to go to Bahamas, you need a passport to go all these places. But Hawaii, you can just go and take a fucking 2 flights, Boston, LAX, and then right to Hawaii, and you're there. You know, so I definitely want. I don't know the fucking difference between the islands. I'll research that, but I just want to go to Hawaii and say I've seen it. Not Aruba. I mean, I've been to Bermuda. You know, I've done. I assume Aruba is similar to that, but I want to go to Hawaii. I want to do it. So that is my next bucket list thing. It's going to Hawaii. All right, cool. Next one. Jason sends $10, goes, I know how does Jen McCabe know that a picture of her daughter has actual semen on it? I know, did they test it? Was there a taste test, Jen? Like, is that what they're saying? Did she do that? What are they even alleging there? I don't know. I don't know. I've been to Alaska. So thank you. Next one. But again, they don't have to prove anything. You know what I mean? It's like they can just make these claims that there's semen on there, and they're just, Auntie Bev isn't ever like, whoa, stop the fight. Tell me more about the semen on the picture. So how do you know semen? Is that the metadata? Is that the same thing? Is the semen the metadata? What does that mean? So I don't know. Next one. Kelly sends $10 and goes, my sister grew up and still lives in Worcester. We look alike and her name is Nikki. I would like to know you too. Okay. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate that. God bless you. I would like to know you too. Bella sends $25 and goes, thank you for saying, wait for it. We will wait for you, Turtleboy. Thank you for all you've done. and you're doing. Make sure to do all you can to be in that courtroom for the entire round 2. Well, thank you, Bella Brat. That is my plan to do that. Okay, cool. Next up. All right. Cynthia Lynch sends $100 and has no comment. Well, thank you very much, Cynthia. Elizabeth sends $10 and says, Betty says St. Patrick got rid of snakes. We'll have a word about the McAlberts. Sleep well tonight, doctor from Ireland. Well, thank you very much there, Elizabeth. Erica Madden sends a whopping $100. Thank you, Erica, very much. And she says, during all this, I think many of us have learned a lot about ourselves. I know I've learned to forgive and forget and move on when it's in the best interest of Karen. Yes, very true, Erica, as have I. We all have faults, and over this long of a period of time, some of our faults have obviously been shown. It's how we all forgive, forget, and move on in the best interest of Karen Reed and the memory of Boston Police Officer John O'Keefe. United we stand, divided we fall. Don't give up on each other, and don't give up on Aidan. He brought my attention to this almost 3 years ago. Well, thank you very much, Erica, for that. You're too nice. The turtle sends $10 and goes, Hank Brennan could take a shit in the middle of the courtroom and blame it on Liza Little, and Bev would believe it. I know, so true. Sarah sends $10, goes, dude, just got out of work and almost missed the show. Happy for you that you are free. The system needs to be flushed, and you're going to be the one to do it. Keep turtling on. Hugs. Thank you, Sarah. Patty O sends $10, goes, free Karen Reed, Turtleboy. Can you wish? Oh, no, I already read that one earlier. Erin sends $50 and goes, glad for the outcome today. Keep up the great work. Love all your content. Charlestown peeps have your back, and Karen's. I know Erica Walsh does for sure. 02129. Whose car are we taking? If you know, you know. Well, thank you very much, Erin. Don't take anyone's car, though. Okay. Let me see if we have any more. Refresh this. Hank's Tiny PP sends $5 and says, Hank gave privileged information about your case during the retrial, so tie him to everything the Commonwealth now. Nickname for Jen, that's Hank's nickname now. Everything the Commonwealth or state police is Hank and his Tiny PP. Okay. Well, thank you very much for that. All right, cool. Do we have any more cash apps here? I can't believe that one from Jordan earlier. So happy you're home. Show us your dick. I can't, you people. Okay, cool. All right, I think that's about it. Let me just refresh Turtle Chat one more time. I don't want to miss anyone. Sometimes people send them in last minute. Oh, do have one cash app here from Jeff. Sends $10 and said, who was sitting next to Paul today? Go Lions. I don't know.
This being a...
𝗪𝗠.
I don't know.
Not only is there
𝗪𝗠. All right,
some woman, I guess. I don't even know. I can't even block. They're obstruct. Oh, is that the Ginny Sack? I think that's Ginny Sack. I think that's her sitting there.
I can appreciate the defense wanting
your standard, right? Not anyway, right?
Or one of the cousins. I don't fucking know. I don't know. But whoever it is sucked. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Anyone else got anything to say before we call it a night? It's been a hell of a show. We got over 5,000 people here at almost 12:30. Tennessee cousin. Where's Erin? Erin, I mean, that's the other thing. Erin has she has not been here since the glazed donuts episode. So, I mean, how could she? I mean, how could she show up for this? I mean, she's got to be pretty shameless to do something like that. So little awkward. And I have not seen anybody watch the new shows tonight. To discover the Karen Reed documentaries. Was it bad, good, whatever? I mean, let me know what you guys thought in the comments. I'll be watching it tomorrow, catching up. Do have another cash app here from Kelly. Sends $20 and says, see no comment from Kelly. It just says, I got $20 from her. So thank you, Kelly. Okay. Very kind of you. All right, guys. Well, I am going to, yeah. So did anybody see it? Yeah, I'm so glad too there. Bella Brat for you, you know, man, like I said, I don't really post much about my family or anything today, but like I said, like all I wanted to do when I was there was like, I don't even give a shit about this show. I mean, I do care about the show. Well, that's weird. I do care about the show. I do want to be here. That all means a lot to me, but that's secondary, man. Like what I really wanted to do was this: shoot hoops, man, in my fucking driveway and work on the jump shot. Because little man is, you know, it's hard being 3'11". It's fucking hard being 3'11". Like you have to use your whole body to get the ball in the hoop, right? If he's 4'3", then it will be a lot easier to score and shoot. You can do a lot more. But when you're 3'11", right, it is putting that ball in an 8-foot hoop is, you know, a lot of effort. So we really got to work on that. And so it's like, I had to be there, man. Had to be there. So he's 7.5, but so that's short for 7.5. He's not going to be tall. His dad's not tall. You know what I mean? It's like, but so he's got to learn to dribble and be quick and hustle. I mean, that's what he hustles a lot. So like, plays tenacious defense. And that's how you're going to, someone his size, that's how you're going to stay on the court. You better be able to shoot, dribble, and play defense. Because, you know, you're not going to, I mean, you could try to rebound, but you're not going to get a lot of rebounds. It's not who you are. You're not going to get a lot of blocks, you know, but whatever. So anyway, do have one more Cash App here from Dorothy, sends $15. And I don't have a message here from Dorothy. It just says $15. I don't know why the last two, I don't know if they forgot to post messages with theirs, but it just says $15 from Dorothy. And yeah, that's it. All right. Anyway, guys, I am going to call it a night. But I love all you fine people. Oh, we got, wait, one more. No more Cash App, so I can't take any more. Oh, Kelly sends $20 and says, Mashpee is just as nice. I have a place for you and the fam. Well, send me a message there, Kelly. I love to. I love the Cape. You know, I love the outer Cape. But I like whatever. I don't give a shit. Just want to be whatever, you know. Chris sends $5 and says, can you call me, please? I don't know what the answer to that is, Chris. I don't even know where to start with that one, you know. But all right, guys. But I am going to call it a day and call it a night and sleep in my bed. And I love all you fine people. And I can't wait to see everybody on Thursday. Peace.